Appreciate everybody's patience. Let's go ahead and get started. Nick, you ready? Yeah. All right, let's call this meeting to order at, what time is it? 6:40 p.m. We will start with our Pledge of Allegiance. Everybody rise. Place your right hand over your heart. Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I love hearing all of our kids loud and proud out there saying the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I love that, guys. Okay, let's move on to approval of the agenda for May 6th, 2025.
To approve the agenda?
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Motion passes. Okay, moving on to approving the minutes from the regular meeting of the governing board for April 1st, 2025. Motion and a second.
Move to approve.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. And let me back up. I forgot to report some of the action that we took during closed session. I have a couple things to report back. Okay, starting with claim number 2425-2. Motion was made by Mr. Trunke, seconded by Mr. Watson, approved. Claim 2425-2, approved in the amount of $59,900 with a vote of 4-0-0. Claim 2425-26, motion was made by Mrs. Cooper, seconded by Mr. Trunke in the amount of $9,000, and it was approved with 4 ayes and 0 nays, 0 abstentions. Claim 2425-9 was, we made a motion, Mr. Trunke made a motion, seconded by Mr. Watson, to approve claim in the amount of $9,500. 4 yeses, 0 nos, 0 abstentions. And finally, claim number 2425-15, in a closed session, the vote was, there was a motion by Mr. Watson, seconded by Mrs. Cooper, with a vote of 4-0. Okay, moving on to the fun stuff. We're going to go on to our teacher tribute honorees for 2025. I will turn it over to Dr. Stevenson.
All right, welcome everybody. Okay, so we will do this in alphabetical order by school site. So our principals all have a little something to say, and we'll actually be starting with Bouquet, I believe. Is Kelsey here? Darcy, you're doing it? Okay. All right. So our administrators all have something to say about their teacher tribute honorees that are being recognized by their staffs. Their teacher tribute honoree can come stand up with your site administrator, and then we have some awards for you. One from the district, and then we have a whole bunch of certificates from our local leaders that came back to us from the teacher tribute evening. So we'll give all of that to you. Our board members will give that to you. And I think once we've talked about you and we've clapped for you, you can have a seat, and then we'll have everybody come back up and take a picture. Otherwise, you end up standing for a really long time up here. All right, go for it, Darcy.
Start over. Okay, so our teacher tribute, Bouquet's teacher tribute person is Arendita Contreras. She wasn't able to be here tonight, but I still wanted to speak about her. She has been a pillar of the preschool program for many years. With her vast knowledge and expertise of early education, she's played a critical role in supporting the development of all students. Her commitment to fostering an inclusive learning environment makes her an asset to all, and we are incredibly thankful to have her as part of our Bouquet Early Learning Academy family.
Ms. Shelby-Korodny, and I have Mrs. Stanley, and we have Mrs. Erin Wiseman from Bridgeport Elementary School. Mrs. Erin Wiseman is an amazing resource specialist with loads of expertise that benefits each staff member and student at Bridgeport. Mrs. Wiseman's Learning Center is a kind and caring environment where all students achieve at high levels. Erin creates a structured, supportive space to help students learn and grow to their full potential. She adjusts her instruction and scaffolding to meet the diverse needs of her students.
That's not it, because additionally, because she's so diligent and caring, Mrs. Wiseman is often in the classrooms of her students, supporting their academic and behavioral needs in real time. She collaborates with general education teachers and the special education teams to support students, teachers, and their families. Erin is a wonderful sounding board, and she thinks outside the box to find solutions to problems. She creates an inclusive classroom where her students feel safe and valued, and we're so grateful to have Erin at Bridgeport.
We have something for you.
Good evening. My name is Merle Sony, and I'm the principal at Cedar Creek. I would like to start off by congratulating all of our teacher tribute honorees and thanking them for their unwavering dedication to our students. I'm here tonight to honor and celebrate Cedar Creek Elementary's teacher tribute honoree Mrs. Christy Westbrook. Mrs. Westbrook is an exceptional educator, colleague, and simply an absolute joy to observe in and out of the classroom. She makes learning fun, yet holds her kindergarten students to high standards and loves them to pieces. Anytime you visit Mrs. Westbrook's classroom, you see and hear students highly engaged in learning. They are working on hands-on learning, dancing to learning songs, or working at their desks on their communicators. Evidence of social emotional learning is always evident and visible in Mrs. Westbrook's classroom. For example, if a student is upset about something a classmate said to them, Mrs. Westbrook empowers her students by telling them, give them an iMessage, at which point the student will communicate to their classmate why they are upset. What a great skill to teach kindergartners. This is just one example of many effective practices Mrs. Westbrook has in place. She is also a leader on campus. She leads with love and purpose. She takes on leadership roles that benefit the whole school. This school year, she coordinated Career Day, and it was a phenomenal event. Most recently, she booked authors to come and read to our students. Tonight, I say thank you, not only for teaching our students, but for inspiring, guiding, and helping them to believe in themselves. Congratulations, Mrs. Westbrook. We love and appreciate you.
So we weren't sure if we were Charles or Helmers tonight, so we went with Charles. Hi, I'm Robin Deshaw. I'm the principal of Charles Helmers Elementary. Right? I never know. And I'd like to introduce you to an amazing teacher, Charity Wood, our teacher tribute. She's been teaching for 34 years. And in kindergarten, And in kindergarten, no less. I always say every kindergarten teacher has a special place in heaven because I couldn't do it. Charity, in a wonderful world of stars, you shine so bright, not just because of your dedication, but because of your ability to lift up everyone around you. You do not just teach, you illuminate the path for your students, showing them the way to success both in and out of the classroom. Your willingness to take on a task, no matter how big or small, makes you a leading star in our galaxy of educators. You are the first to volunteer, you're the first to help others, and the first to say, how can I make this better? Usually with a song. Her students aren't just a number in her classrooms, they are the stars in her sky, and she loves each and every one of them. Whether it's a world of encouragement, a helping hand, or a hug when it's needed most, Charity is there, proving that sometimes the best teachers are those who show you that you matter. Charity, you truly embody what it means to be a star educator, and I'm honored to work with you.
Emblem Academy is proud to honor Mrs. Monica Tatlock as our teacher tribute. Monica is not only a vital part of the Emblem community, but she is also cherished by all. Her classroom, affectionately dubbed as Room Disneyland, is a testament to her ability to create a well-organized and enjoyable learning environment. Monica's colleagues value her unwavering support and willingness to listen and collaborate. She is known for her calm demeanor and reliability, qualities that make her a trusted team member. Her organizational skills are legendary, well known by all. Her exceptional organization inspired those around her. This skill has left a lasting impact on her students, many of whom feel well prepared for junior high school thanks to her guidance. One student in particular highlighted the usefulness of his math binder, a tool Mrs. Tatlock taught him to maintain, which allows him to easily reference his notes.
Great. All right, her students, I interviewed her students. They also said they appreciate her sense of humor. Despite the challenges of engaging sixth graders, because we all know how that is, apparently Mrs. Tatlock succeeds with her witty remarks and her humorous addition to lessons. Her playful fainting act she does when students impress her is a favorite among them. Beyond her sense of humor, Mrs. Tatlock is recognized for her genuine kindness and care for others. She not only is an outstanding teacher, but she also leads Emblem's weekly broadcast and heads the social committee, ensuring the well-being of all of our staff members. Her contributions to the Makerspace and the Sixth Grade Emporium Project provide students with invaluable experiences. Monica, your fellow Eagles and Eaglets, want you to know how much we appreciate you. Emblem would not be the same without your dedication and spirit.
So Robin went by Charles Hemmelers, and I do Foster for the F, for not the J. So sorry, Ernestina. So our teacher tribute honoree, Amy McDonald, was not able to join us tonight, but I'm hoping that she's on Zoom. Amy is the kind of educator every student, every school hopes for. She is a seasoned professional whose dedication and passion for teaching have left a lasting impact on countless lives. Year after year, Amy pours herself into her work with a deep belief in every child's potential. She creates a classroom where students feel safe, valued, empowered to grow, not just academically, but socially and emotionally as well. She nurtures the whole child. She meets her students where they are while holding high expectations and helping them rise. Her classroom is a place of belonging and growth, where students feel confident to take risks and push themselves further. She is known for her thoughtful, student-centered approach. Her lessons are engaging, relevant, and designed with care. It's no surprise that students want to be in her class year after year, and I've already received countless emails from parents requesting for her next year, even though they were also in her class this year. That speaks volumes about the impact she makes on both students and families. In addition to her exceptional teaching, Amy is very reliable. She is someone you can count on, whether it's staying on top of her responsibilities or stepping in to support a colleague or ensuring her students always have what they need. Her consistency and dependability are cornerstones of our school community. Amy is also a fantastic team player. She is always willing to support people, share ideas, and step in when needed. Her professionalism, work ethic, and genuine care for others make her a valued and deeply respected member of our team. Amy, thank you for your heart, energy, and excellence you bring to our school each and every day. We are lucky to have you, and we are better because of you. Congratulations to Amy.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ernestina Aguilar. I am the proud principal at Highlands. Have to get it right. Am I in the right order? I don't even know anymore after. I'm just going with it. Okay. My teacher is Ashley Morgan, and she should be on Zoom. She said, just don't make me unmute. So I'm not making her unmute, but Ashley Morgan, if you're out there, raise your hand, and I think they'll pull you in. Okay, so good evening, everyone. It's a true privilege to stand before you tonight to honor someone who represents the very best of what it means to be an educator superstar. Tonight, we celebrate Mrs. Morgan, a remarkable teacher at Highlands Elementary whose impact reaches far beyond the walls of her classroom. Mrs. Morgan is the embodiment of hard work. She prepares, plans, and puts her heart into every detail of every IEP she case manages and differentiates like no other. But it's not just the time she puts into it, it's the passion and the purpose behind it. Around school, she is our PBIS champion and coach. And in the classroom, she is a masterful educator attending to each student's individual needs. When we talk about dedication, we're talking about Mrs. Morgan. She shows up every day, not just physically, but with her whole heart, ready to advocate, encourage, and guide each of her students, no matter what challenges arise. Her compassion is something truly special. In her resource classroom, every child is seen, heard, and valued. She meets students where they are, celebrates who they are, and helps them believe in all they can become. Her kindness creates a safe space where growth and confidence can thrive. And when it comes to teamwork, Mrs. Morgan is the glue that brings it all together. She collaborates seamlessly with colleagues, supports families with empathy, and works side by side with specialists and staff to ensure no student is ever left behind. Her spirit of unity uplifts everyone around her. Mrs. Morgan, tonight we honor you, not only for the incredible work you do, but for the compassionate, dedicated, and selfless person you are. You are an inspiration, a guiding light, and a true difference maker at Highlands Elementary. Congratulations, and thank you for your relentless efforts and for being everything our students and our school need. You are kind, you are important, and you matter at Highlands. Thank you.
It is Mr. Stepner and my honor to recognize Mountain View's Elementary Teacher of the Year, an educator whose impact reaches far beyond the walls of the classroom, Mrs. Cameron Arnold. From the moment you step into our classroom, you feel it, a spark of energy, creativity, and genuine joy. Learning here goes beyond the textbooks. It's about exploration, curiosity, and connection. Whether it's through hands-on activities, interactive storytelling, or really fun math that makes it look like fun and not like work, she makes learning exciting and meaningful for every student. Her influence doesn't just stop at the classroom door. She's a true leader on campus, always stepping up to support colleagues, mentoring new teachers, and helping shape a positive, collaborative school culture. She also serves in a leadership role within the teachers union, advocating for educators and ensuring that the voices of teachers are heard and respected.
What truly sets her apart, though, is her heart. She builds lasting relationships with students and families, creating a safe, welcoming space where every child feels seen, valued, and capable of greatness. Her enthusiasm is contagious and her dedication unwavering. Wow, it's a tough crowd here. She has a sense of humor, too. Tonight, we celebrate a teacher who reminds us all why we do this work. Congratulations to Miss Cameron Arnold, our 2025 Teacher of the Year. Mountain View Elementary is a better place because of you.
All right, I'm by myself. Now. Come on. My little friend here doesn't like to be in the spotlight, but here we go. So I am Rose Villanueva, the proud principal at North Park Elementary School. It is truly an honor to recognize our 24-25 teacher tribute honoree, Mrs. Emily Carpenter. Mrs. Carpenter is not only an amazing second grade teacher at North Park, but she is truly an essential part of the school community. Have you ever read the book, How Full Is Your Bucket? By Tom Rath and Mary Ruckmeyer? Then you can understand just how powerful filling someone's bucket can be. I can tell you that Mrs. Carpenter fills everyone's bucket because she does what she does each and every day. She is one of those individuals that fills everyone's bucket without even knowing it. So Mrs. Carpenter, our teachers and staff have this book for you that they all sign. So when you have a minute, please read how you fill everyone's bucket. And then here's tonight, the staff at North Park Elementary School is honored to fill Mrs. Carpenter's bucket or basket. Get a basket. Here is what we have to say about our phenomenal second grade teacher, Mrs. Carpenter. Mrs. Carpenter is a true smarty. We're a healthy school, so she has to keep us at home. She is data-driven and is dedicated to the continual academic growth of all students. She created a math intervention groups that spans across our primary grades. She is on numerous committees and does so much for our school each and every day. She always goes that extra mile. There you go. To ensure colleagues have what they need and feel supported. Mrs. Carpenter always goes above and beyond and makes our students and staff feel successful. She has created our student spotlight bulletin board that is located in our NPR to highlight our students each week from every classroom. Well, Mrs. Carpenter, tonight the spotlight is on you. Sure, so I could hold it. Although Mrs. Carpenter is always nonstop ensuring that students are learning at high levels, she makes time to check on staff and see how everyone is doing. She truly cares about everyone she works with and has her positive attitude and beautiful smile that always brightens our day. She is a true sweetheart. Your North Park family. Oh, I'm not even done. Mrs. Carpenter is a fabulous coworker who is extremely creative and talented. So of course, here you go. Create something phenomenal. And you could put my name on it too if you want. Here's your little artwork.
She puts heart and soul into serving our school community. She creates data walls, beautiful bulletin boards across our campus to highlight student work, and welcome signs in different languages that hang near the entrance of our school. Your North Park Knight family is so grateful for you and appreciate all that you do each and every day. Mrs. Carpenter, you are truly worth more than $1 million. But you're going to get a Starbucks card. We are grateful for all that you do. Thank you for always filling our buckets without even knowing it. It's truly a pleasure to fill yours.
Good evening. Not sure why I have to follow roles, but here you go. Congratulations to Mrs. Carpenter and all of our wonderful teacher tribute. Well-deserved honor for you tonight. However, it is my good pleasure, along with our new assistant principal, Jessica Bennett, to honor our teacher tribute for 2025. Unfortunately, Ms. Stengel could not be here due to family concerns, but here we go. It is my absolute honor and joy to recognize this year's Teacher of the Year, Teacher Tribute for Plum Canyon, Miss Chloe Stengel. Chloe is truly one of a kind. She brightens every room she walks into with her radiant smile and endless positivity. Her warmth, energy, and genuine love for our school community are felt by every student, every teacher, and every parent she encounters. Ms. Stengel goes above and beyond in every way. She supports our students with compassion and high expectations. She lifts up her colleagues with encouragement and wisdom. And she partners with families with grace, respect, and open arms. Her impact at Plum Canyon is deep and far-reaching. She serves on multiple leadership committees, including our Guiding Coalition. She is our passionate and committed PBIS coach. She even attends the district CAPS meeting, working to support our staff as we grow together on our PLC journey. What makes this recognition even more special is that Chloe Stengel is a true product of Plum Canyon. She walked these halls, our halls, as a young girl with dreams of becoming a teacher, and today she lives out that dream every single day with a heart of excellence and purpose. Parents know that if their child has Ms. Stengel and they request her, yes, they do, they will not only learn and grow academically, they will become better people, better citizen for knowing her. Ms. Stengel, thank you for loving Plum Canyon the way you do. You are a shining example of what it means to teach with heart, to lead with integrity, and to serve with joy. You are so deserving of this honor, and as we like to say, you bleed purple. Congratulations, Ms. Stengel, our teacher by Teacher Tribute.
Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Nuvia Navarez. I'm the principal at Rio Vista Elementary School. And this year, no one deserves the spotlight more than Christy Goss, Rio Vista's Teacher Tribute of the Year. She is dedicated, kind, and incredibly strong. There's a special kind of magic required to be a kindergarten teacher, a blend of patience, playfulness, heart, and hustle. And Christy Goss brings all of that and more every single day. She is someone who can turn chaos into creativity and who meets every moment and meltdown with kindness and calm. From the very first bell to the final cleanup of the day, Christy pours her heart into her classroom. She brings structure, love, and laughter to our littlest learners and somehow still finds the time and energy to support our staff as a vital part of our leadership team. Her contagious smile lifts spirits, her humor keeps us going, and her commitment to excellence sets the tone for everyone around her. Whether she's helping a 5-year-old or helping our school navigate big decisions, she does it all with grace. This year brought big changes for Christy personally. Her daughter took flight and began her first year of college in Hawaii. I am certain, Christy, that you would love to be in Hawaii with your daughter. And honestly, we all think she's earned about 47 naps in a hammock. Yet Christy continues to give her all to her students, her teammates, and our school community. So today, we raise an imaginary tropical toast to you, Christy. Your contagious smile could outshine a Hawaiian sunset. From shaping little minds with aloha level patience to leading our team with sunshine and spirit, Christy brings the island breeze wherever she goes. You're laid back, tiki-rific, and absolutely lovable. For your endless hours, your tireless love, and your all in heart, mahalo for everything you do.
Good evening. I'm Elizabeth Bellina, the proud principal at Rosedale Elementary School, and I have the privilege of honoring our teacher tribute, Mrs. Janice Gardner, and we have some of our Rosedale Roadrunners here with us, her own children, Olivia and Everett, to help us. All right, so there's a well-known saying, students don't care about what you know until they know how much you care. Mrs. Gardner lives this every single day. From the moment a student walks into her classroom, they are seen, heard, and valued. She builds relationships rooted in trust, empathy, and respect, creating a space where every student feels safe, welcome, and ready to learn. Mrs. Gardner is a strong teacher who helps all students learn at high levels. She brings a combination of deep instructional skill and compassion, ensuring that every child not only grows academically, but feels empowered and valued throughout the journey. But it's not just heart that Mrs. Gardner Mrs. Gardner brings structure and purpose to her teaching. Her classroom is a place where routines empower students and expectations are clear, consistent, and kind. She sets the stage for high levels of learning by creating an environment where students know they belong and know they matter. Her impact isn't measured only by test scores or academic growth, but by the confidence she instills and the joy she brings to learning and the belief she plants in every student. You're capable, you're cared for, and you can succeed. And outside the classroom, Mrs. Gardner's heart for her students and her community continue to shine. On her days off, you might see her running through the neighborhood or cruising around with her 2 beautiful children and her father-in-law in their golf cart, waving to neighbors and bringing smiles to everyone she passes. She's not just a cornerstone in our school, she's a beloved part of our entire community. Mrs. Gardner also knows how to bring the magic to learning. Who else but Mrs. Gardner would haul snow all the way from Big Bear so her students, many of whom who had never seen snow, could experience the thrill of touching it for the first time. That's the kind of teacher that Mrs. Gardner is, creative, joyful, and always going the extra mile to make learning memorable. Mrs. Gardner, thanks for showing us what it means to teach with both strength and heart. Your dedication, joy, and deep connection to students and community inspire us all.
Good evening. Tonight, Sky Blue Mesa is honoring somebody truly extraordinary, Michelle Joseph. Mrs. Joseph is a guiding light, a fierce advocate, and a constant source of hope for students who need not just a teacher, but a champion. Mrs. Joseph has been a special education teacher for 38 years. That deserves an applause. And where some might find this challenging, Mrs. Joseph does not. She sees only opportunities to lift students up, to celebrate every single success, and to remind each child that they are capable, valued, and loved. But Mrs. Joseph's impact doesn't stop at the classroom door. She has mentored fellow educators, built partnerships with families, and shaped a school culture that understands that every child deserves the chance to shine. And as she steps into retirement, we're really going to miss you and all of our talks at the end of the day. Her legacy is going to live on at Sky Blue. On behalf of all of us, thank you for your lifetime of service. You have made a difference that will echo for generations to come, and we honor you tonight. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Cheryl Cameron. I'm the principal at Tesoro del Valle. And tonight I'm proud to recognize Tesoro del Valle's Teacher Tribute honoree, Mrs. Christian April. Christian is the kind of teacher and leader who seems to be everywhere at once, leading staff meetings, coaching new teachers, covering the playground, guiding our PLC work, jumping in to support the PTA, and still managing to run a warm, inclusive classroom where her students call themselves Ohana, because as they say, Ohana means family. She's our head teacher, a mentor, and a steady, positive presence who never looks for recognition, but more than deserves it. If something needs doing, Christian is already on it, usually before you finish the sentence. She lifts others up, she holds high expectations for students and staff, and makes Tesoro feel like a place where everyone belongs. Now, it's hard to sum up everything she does, but I know she's getting a lot of thank you notes and flowers from her students, from families and colleagues this Teacher Appreciation Week. Now, these flowers represent just the beginning of the gratitude our school community feels for Christian. Honestly, we need a giant garden to do her justice. Christian, thank you for being one of Tesoro's greatest treasures. We're honored to have you on our team.
Good evening. I'm Sue Beth, the principal at West Creek Academy. And West Creek Academy is thrilled to honor our Teacher Tribute honoree, Katie Arnold. Mrs. Arnold started her teaching and leadership at West Creek when West Creek opened its doors almost 15 years ago. Mrs. Arnold's excellent teaching and leadership have continued every year since. With it being Teacher Appreciation Day, let's start by talking about Mrs. Arnold's teaching as a third grade teacher. She brings joy and excellence into all subject areas, and she is adored by her students, her colleagues, and her families. Mrs. Arnold is also the third grade level chair who works closely with her team. As a PLT, Mrs. Arnold and her team look at ensuring mastery of the Promise standards as a professional learning team and provide reteaching extension during win time.
Mrs. Arnold and her grade level are heard talking about strategies and lessons during lunchtime and anytime they have a chance to meet as well. They have also been really seeing how they can look at the IEBs for the CASP. So speaking of the CASP, which starts tomorrow, Mrs. Arnold is our CASP coordinator, and she has been the testing coordinator since she started as a teacher 20 years ago. So for 20 years, she has been the testing coordinator, and she does a phenomenal job. And she really knows how to rock the test. She has worked with her entire grade level, and they have achieved year after year 80% mastery in language arts and 85% in math, which is just incredible. Let's give her a round. No pressure for this year. Mrs. Arnold also is our PTA liaison and PTA vice president of programs. And it was even meeting with all of us this morning. I was telling our staff, I go, I've been with Mrs. Arnold. Everything I talk about today, we've also done it yesterday and today. And so she's helped with ensuring that we have wonderful programs in our school, and we appreciate all that. She's also been a leader of the Saugus Teacher Association. And when I talk about doing each of these roles, like all year long, but also today and yesterday, she was in negotiations yesterday as a leader for STA. Mrs. Arnold also builds connections with students. When she was a 5th grade teacher a few years ago, she would have her students write a letter to their future self. And she continues to send those letters to the students 5 years later when they're in 10th grade so that they can reflect on what they told themselves as 5th graders. And speaking of connections, she still creates those lifelong connections. And she just yesterday was sending an email to our entire staff about how we were going to, for a 3rd year in a row, connect with our seniors. And they were going to meet us all at West Creek in their caps and gowns. And we take a picture and we get to see where they're headed off to the future. And so she's helped arrange that as well, too. And Mrs. Arnold is also one of the most organized and speedy people I have ever met. When looking for a new ticket for reinforcing wonderful lunch tables or lunch lines, or seeing how we're trying to create slides that show the CASEL competencies and how the SEL aligns with the academics, a teacher will say, oh, Mrs. Arnold can do that. And almost as fast as Google, we have that slide or that ticket all ready for us. Mrs. Arnold is also having her very own West Creek Wolf, Drew, here at our school, which has been a pleasure. And she's really excited that her little West Creek cub will become a wolf next year and join us for TK. So congratulations, Mrs. Arnold, on being our teacher tribute honoree, and most of all for leaving a significant wolf print on all of us at West Creek and on our entire world. So
All right, we have one more announcement after Katie takes a picture. Jamie, are you going to do the announcement?
Oh, no.
No, you got it. You have something written. Go for it.
Okay, so it is my absolute great pride to announce our 2025 Saugus Union School District Teacher of the Year, Miss Amanda Howard. Oh. Can I say, is it okay if I can continue? Okay. Because it's kind of long, which is unique for me, but I can say so many things about this amazing professional. She is so deserving of this recognition because of the incredible impact she has made on our school students and community. She truly represents what it means to be an extraordinary educator, one who continuously strives to inspire, challenge, and support her students and colleagues. Amanda goes above and beyond in everything she does, not only through dedication to her students, but also in how she inspires and supports her colleagues and inspires me. Her ability to lead by example has made her a respected mentor to many, always willing to share her knowledge and offer guidance whenever needed. Personally, I have thoroughly enjoyed working with Amanda. Her wisdom, generosity, and willingness to collaborate have been invaluable, and I know I'm not the only one who feels that way. She was always learning, always looking for ways to improve her students' classroom experience and to better our school as a whole. Her growth mindset is evident in everything she does, and whether she's seeking out new teaching strategies, she shared one with me this morning, attending professional development, or innovating in her classroom, her commitment to self-improvement and her drive to make a positive impact is a key reason why her students thrive. Her commitment to bringing valuable resource to our school is unparalleled. Amanda has tirelessly written grants that have secured essential resources for our students. In fact, the day I found out that she was getting recognized for our Teacher of the Year, she was walking into my office telling me she had just written another grant. And I was like, thank you so much. And so thanks to her efforts, we have been able to expand and enrich our learning environment in ways that we wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. She has led our school's charge in bringing coding and robotics as part of our programming, providing students with lots of hands-on opportunities. Amanda's classroom is a model of impeccable classroom management and organization. It is a place where students are consistently challenged to reach their full potential, while also having their individual needs met with care and such intention. She creates an environment where students feel safe, supported, and motivated to do their best. And like I think Christine Ivy said, is very tricky with sixth graders. Her ability to maintain structure while fostering creativity and independence is a true testament to her skill as an educator. Amanda, thank you for your tireless dedication, your innovative spirit, and your commitment to our students and our community. Your positive influence extends far beyond the classroom, and we are incredibly fortunate to have you as a leader, mentor, and teacher on our campus. Congratulations on this well-deserved honor.
So Amanda will, you can go shake hands. I'll just talk while you're doing that. Amanda will go on to compete in the Los Angeles County Office of Education Teacher of the Year contest, and then she will be honored at a banquet in the fall for all of LA County Teachers of the Year. So congratulations, Amanda. We're proud of you. If we could have all of our teacher tribute okay. And then if we could have everyone come up and we'll take one big group picture, that would be great. Monica's a photograph right now.
Oh, okay.
Reconvene at 7:32. Like people are exiting. All of our board members are here. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We are going to reconvene and start back up with our advance written request to address the board on agenda and non-agendized items. I'll read the spiel that I read every 2 weeks. Board bylaws 9320, 9322, and 9323 each speak to the process used by the governing board to allow for public comment during its meetings. The bylaws are in compliance with the Brown Act and other applicable law. Board Bylaw 9323 specifically outlines the process for members of the public to address the governing board on agenda and non-agenda items that are within its subject matter jurisdiction. Members of the public wishing to address the governing board are asked to do the following prior to the start of the public comment section of the meeting agenda to ensure that appropriate time is allotted to all interested speakers and topics. The speaker must either complete a speaker card for each item they desire to speak on and/or notify the assistant to the superintendent of each item if attending the meeting in person. The notification is requested to allow the board president to consistently implement public comment guidelines provided in Board Bylaw 9323. Members of the public wishing to make public comment via telephone or virtual meeting software must notify the assistant to the superintendent via email not later than 4:30 p.m. on the day of the scheduled meeting to ensure that the person has the same opportunity to address the board under Board Bylaw 9323 as those who are in attendance. Each speaker is allowed 3 minutes per topic for public comment. The total time allotted for each topic is 20 minutes. Depending on the number of persons wishing to be heard on a single topic, the governing board may adjust the time allotted for each speaker or the total time allocated to the topic issue. The president of the board may take a poll of speakers for and against the topic issue to determine how best to allot time on each topic issue. Members of the public who wish to address the board do so either in person or via Zoom. A speaker may read a statement from an individual not in attendance. However, their allotted speaking time will not be extended to reach such a statement. A timer visible to all attendees will be used to manage time during public comment. Any speaker who exceeds their allotted time will have their mic cut off. To ensure that non-English speakers receive the same opportunity to directly address the board, any member of the public who utilizes a translator shall be provided at least twice the allotted time to address the board, unless simultaneous translation equipment is used to allow the board to hear the translated public testimony simultaneously. Please remember that state law prevents the board from acting on any matter not listed on the agenda or from discussing any such matter in detail. We have a few speaker cards. I will start off with one of our teacher honorees, Michelle Joseph, and she is speaking on the topic of special education.
Good evening, board members, cabinet, colleagues, community members, and families. I would like to begin by thanking the board for recognizing the Teacher Tribute honorees for this year. Congratulations to everyone who received the special honor, and congratulations as well to our Teacher of the Year for the district. I'm going to talk about special education and the inclusion program. I imagine that the district is evaluating which school should start the process of the inclusion program next. Being that Sky Blue Mesa could be a potential consideration as one of these sites, I have some concerns to share. First, at least some, if not all, of the students who are not ready for such a program were moved to Sky Blue Mesa for continuation of services. In other words, they came to Sky Blue Mesa because we have special day classes that can continue working on their IEP goals in the appropriate setting. Some of these students are currently in our primary special day classes. If these students didn't fit into the program at their home school, they're not going to fit into the program at Sky Blue Mesa. Even if you start with TK, the students who would be slated for Rosedale for next year even would most likely be coming to Sky Blue Mesa instead if they cannot be part of that program. Second, if you're going to expand the program, why not choose a school on the other side of the district? That way, you have the ability to transfer those students who are not a good fit to other nearby schools with special education programs. Third, I understand that the last special day class at Rosedale is being closed. So the inclusion program there will be TK through 6th. I remember hearing the idea that one special day class would be kept at each school for those students who didn't fit the other program. From what I'm hearing now, it sounds as though the schools that use the program will be eventually closing all of their special day classes, which is okay as long as we maintain special day classes at other sites. It seems to me at this point that Sky Blue Mesa would be one of those sites. As you continue planning, please keep these concerns in mind. Also, please keep in mind that when you send upper grade siblings to different sites for continuation of services, it can impact their emotional and social well-being. I have a student in my class currently who had this experience. The parent and I had to help him cope with the loss of his campus, his teachers, and his friends. Yes, he adjusted, but it was not easy for him. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Moving on to Tammy Messina and regarding the superintendent evaluation.
Hello. I just have a couple of questions. I noticed on the agenda that it states the special meeting for the superintendent evaluation that was scheduled for May the 17th now states that meeting on the 17th is to be determined. So I'm wondering if the superintendent evaluation has been rescheduled or if that meeting is still in play and going to be a different topic. So maybe somebody can address that tonight. And then on item 3D5, which says Parent Institute for Quality Education, I'm hoping somebody can clarify how many parents have attended this opportunity historically each year for these sessions. So if you can just maybe provide some information with regarding to that topic, that would be great. Thank you.
I can speak to the superintendent evaluation. We had a date conflict that came up, and so we're looking for another date currently. I'm only speaking about the superintendent evaluation. Yeah. Okay, and next up we have Karen Frost, and topic is presentation behavior update.
I won't take long either. I just wanted to say that when I was reviewing the agenda, I saw the topic for the Behavioral Council update on the agenda. And this is something that the families, the communities, the teachers, the aides have been waiting for a long time. It's taken a long time to get to this place. And so I want to thank everybody for making this happen. I'm very optimistic about listening to the recommendations and listening to the update because this has been a long time in coming. I'm not a teacher, I never have been, but I am a parent. And I just would like to plant one seed. These teachers for a long time have been struggling saying, give us the tools to do the work. If there's small behavioral problems, let us deal with it in its infancy. So that we can prevent them from becoming bigger problems. I understand from recently that there are more tools given to teachers, and that's really great. And I'd like to just build on the momentum, trusting the professionals to do what they do, not restricting them in the ways that they know how to do it. These people have been doing a fabulous job. So let's make sure that we continue to give them the tools so that they can deal with these tiny little behavioral problems when they're small before they blow up into big behavioral problems. And then we end up having to have counselors. So thank you.
Thank you. That's all for our speaker cards. Moving on to the Saugus Teachers Association, Ms. Linda Valdez.
Okay, good evening, board members, cabinet colleagues, community members, and families. Congratulations to this evening's award recipients, our teacher tribute honorees. our colleagues who have dedicated their careers in good times and in not so good times to educate the next generation of leaders, innovators, entrepreneurs, service people, parents, and teachers, amongst a million other possibilities. Arendita, Aaron, Kristen, Monica, Amy, Charity, Ashley, Cameron, Emily, Chloe, Christy, Janice, Christian, Katie, Michelle, and Amanda. You change the trajectory of lives every day, and that is very powerful and very special, and thank you. We thank you. And I just have to say, administrators, boy, you pegged them so well. Like, wow, you know your teachers, you know our colleagues, which is really special. Okay. We could argue that the job of our educators is one of the most, if not the most critical and vital roles within a thriving community. Without them, none of the successes that we in the Saugus Union School District celebrate and have come to expect would be possible. On behalf of our executive board, we thank you and we see you, and we know what it takes to be selected by our community of colleagues at each individual site, and it's a big deal. And each of you, in each of your cases, it is absolutely well-deserved. Our Saugus Teachers Association is part of a much greater network, that of the California Teachers Association, with more than 300,000 members. Within our state, we have regional leaders that help facilitate the work of CTA. We in Santa Clarita are part of the Bay Valley Service Center, which extends from Channel Islands to Long Beach, representing local associations throughout the region. I'm the vice chair of the Bay Valley Service Center, and with that comes various responsibilities, one of which is to organize and chair the WHO We Honor Our Own Award celebration, where members from across the region are recognized for their advocacy and their representation. Many amazing individuals were honored last night at a beautiful event in Universal City. Now, I may be a wee bit biased, but truly no one holds a candle to our very own Teresa Garcia. There's Teresa, who is one of this year's WHO Award recipients. These words were shared last night about her, and had we not been limited to just a measly 150 words, so much more could and would have been said about her. Okay, so I'm going to read to you what was said. Teresa Garcia, Saugus Teachers Association, West Creek Academy, number of years teaching, 21. We are thrilled Teresa is being recognized with the We Honor Our Own Award. She has been an educator in Santa Clarita for 21 years. She teaches 6th grade and has held the position of intervention teacher on special assignment, providing intense systematic interventions to students in grades K through 6. Teresa is a strong leader, a mentor, and a voice for teachers, students, and families. Her union work includes advocating for our members' working conditions while serving on the site representative council. But more recently, she has held an officer position on our executive board and advocated to include contract language for universal dismissal to ensure an equitable work day for all members. Teresa lives her life demonstrating the values she instills in her students, including kindness, advocacy, empathy, and a work ethic to make a place where we can all thrive. Thank you, Teresa, for your unwavering dedication to our teachers and to our students. We love you and we appreciate you so, so much. So thank you, Teresa. Okay, to all of our colleagues across our district, our appreciation and our gratitude for all of you runs deep. Happy Teacher Appreciation Week. In closing, school board, we look forward to the ratification of our very extensive tentative agreement. A lot has been accomplished this year in our collective efforts to improve working conditions. Thank you to our union leaders, to our negotiating teams, both district and union, bargaining unit members, and the many people across the district who have provided support. Together, we are better. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to our CSEA, Ms. Sylvia Arnon.
Good evening, Cabinet. Good evening, Cabinet, board members, community members, and families. Congratulations to the 2025 Teacher Tribute Honorees. Thank you for all that you do for the students in our district. Our CSEA Chapter 112E Board is very happy that negotiations for this school year have ended and that the voices of classified employees have been acknowledged and heard. A special thank you goes out to the governing board. We especially thank Ms. Garibay and Ms. Grease for listening and showing true care and appreciation for our classified employees. Thank you. We extend our thanks to Dr. Hawkins and Dr. Stevenson and her team. We are relieved that safety language has been added to our contract to ensure that action will be taken to protect classified employees in our schools from escalating behaviors. A huge thank you to our negotiation team who give so much of themselves with their time, effort, and professionalism. Antonio Arana, Kim Auer, David Breceda, and Marco Chavez Hernandez. Your exceptional commitment and collaborative spirit have been instrumental throughout the whole process. It is a privilege to work alongside such a dedicated team that truly makes our members' needs a top priority. A big thank you also goes out to our labor representative, Elijah Chesler. We are grateful to our president, Dalmi Calderon, for her support, hard work, and dedication to CSEA members. She inspires us with her genuine care and consistency in going above and beyond for our members. We appreciate Dr. Hawkins for reaching out to paraeducators, acknowledging the value of their input, their struggles, and plans to tackle issues. We are excited and relieved about forming a paraeducator group in the coming school year. Paraeducators agree on the need for training, especially for those who are new to the district. Special education paraeducators truly need more assistance. We will be reaching out to the special education paraeducators and RSP to address their concerns. More needs to be done, and we are hopeful that meeting together will help to find possible solutions. Our e-board would like to take this opportunity to thank all classified employees, recognizing the incredible contributions they make to our schools. Whether you are working directly supporting students or behind the scenes, your excellence of service shines through. It is also because of you that our schools, offices, and programs run efficiently. Thank you for bringing true value and for making a positive impact on our schools. We hope that this cycle of negotiations sheds light on the true meaning of our district message. We have proven that together we do achieve more. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to our Saugus Administrators Association, Robin Deschamps. Did I pronounce that right? Deschamps? Deshaw? Sorry. Deshaw. I will never forget it again until the next time.
All right. Good evening, President Garibay, board members, Superintendent Dr. Hawkins, Cabinet, and the Saugus community. My name is Robin Deshaw, and I am the very proud principal of Charles Helmers Elementary School. It is my honor and privilege to stand before you tonight on behalf of the Saugus Administrators Association. Congratulations to all of our teacher tributes, honorees of the year. Thank you for being such outstanding role models, not only for your students, but for your colleagues. Your passion, dedication, and commitment to excellence continues to inspire all of us. We are so grateful for everything you do each and every day. It seems so fitting that I'm standing here speaking tonight, the night before the assessment season opens. As we prepare to kick off the assessment season, there is a sense of excitement across all of our school sites. Our students are getting ready to show what they know. Hopefully they're all in bed real soon because they need to get a good night's sleep. Our students are ready. Each and every site is building up hype to cheer on our upper grade students, encouraging them to do their best and finish strong. There are some pre-party celebrations, notes of encouragement. Primary grades are making upper grade posters and cards for them, and so much more. All year long, our focus has been on deep, meaningful learning. Students and staff alike have been working incredibly hard, not just to prepare for a test, but to build skills, confidence, and the love of learning. Assessments provide just a snapshot of what a child can do, but we know our students are going to shine. To all of the teachers, thank you for your commitment, passion, and relentless support. To our students, we believe in you, and we are so proud of how far you've come. We would also like to thank parents, staff, and students for taking the Connectedness survey. We truly value everyone's input, and it helps us identify what needs to happen to improve the climate and culture at each one of our school sites. Your feedback plays a vital role in guiding our efforts to create a more supportive and inclusive environment for all. We look forward to using the results to make meaningful improvements across our school sites. It is a bit bittersweet to start wrapping up one school year while already looking ahead to the next. As we reflect on all that we have done and we have accomplished, we're also filled with gratitude for the incredible support systems that make our school so special. We are excited to continue to strengthen our professional learning and collaboration. Our teams are committed to growing together, sharing best practices, and staying focused on what matters most, supporting every single student every day. Our parent organizations have been tirelessly planning exciting events and creating lasting memories for all of our students. From celebrations to enrichment opportunities, their dedication brings joy and connectedness to our campus. You are currently, right now, making sure that our staff and teachers feel appreciated all week long. We are deeply appreciative of everything that you are doing for our children, our staff, and for the entire school communities. Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight.
Thank you. And we have Mr. Nate Pear, PTA president at Charles Helmers Elementary.
Everybody, good evening. Yes, my name is Nate. I am the current president at Charles Helmers Elementary School. And unlike Ms. Deshaw talked about and looking forward to next year, this will be my last term as president. And I am thoroughly looking forward to handing it off to an amazing Lauren Felt, who is going to do a great job. So I'd like to start with a couple thank yous. So first to Ms. Deshaw, she has been an amazing partner and collaborator at the school from her first day coming in this summer and our first meetings and embracing the PTA, figuring out what we can do to help our enrichment at the school. She has been an awesome partner. So thank you, Mr. Shaw. We appreciate it. I also need to thank our PTA board at Charles Helmers. We have some amazing volunteers. The board themselves work tirelessly, as Mr. Shaw talked about, with all the events. But mostly this year, one of our goals as the PTA was to look at what our function and our role on the school and the campus is. And that starts with understanding that we're guests. So respecting the campus, respecting the teachers' classrooms, and really working with administration and the teachers to figure out how we can make the students' environment a little bit better and how we can work on the enrichment, right? The teachers and the administration are working on the school themselves and the learning, and we wanted to figure out how we can best be partners with the teachers in that. And our amazing volunteers did a great job this year, I think, in working with the teachers and doing that. Also, I'd like to thank our SEV PTA, some of whom are here. They do a lot in supporting the local PTAs and making sure that we have the necessary resources and our ability to call them and ask questions so that we can best support the campus. So thank you guys for that as well. We had some goals this year, one of which was to improve our total membership. And I was happy to report that we had 521 members of our PTA this year, which is the first time they've been over 500. So very, very some exciting things we have done this year. We just finished our first ever variety show, and it was awesome to see our students get to embrace music and art and dance. We had 26 acts. It went just over 2 hours, and we had all of our parents, students came in to support them. And Mrs. Shaw played a huge role in that, you know, being able to get with music and arts and allow the students to show something that otherwise in campus is not something that is naturally a part of the curriculum, right? Music is there, but they don't get to be able to involve themselves in it in this type of manner. So her support and the school support of our variety show was awesome. And we even had some teachers come out and support their students who they knew were doing acts. So that was a lot of fun. One thing I did want to highlight as well, and a lot of this goes with the SCV PTA helping and understanding how fundraising goes and being able to work directly with our parents. We were able to fundraise enough this year through, again, help with Mr. Shaw and our teachers' support and the SCV PTA that all of our events for this entire year were free. So every single event we've done, we've had at a minimum 100 students and over 200 parents total, and every single event has been able to be free. That includes having our DJs, food, ice cream, social, everything that we've done, all the events were fundraised, and that was something that was really special to us. Obviously, being in a community like this, we have families from different backgrounds, and being able to tell our parents and all of our students that they can come to any event and they don't have to worry about what the cost will be was something that was really important to us, and we were able to achieve that goal this year. So we're happy to report that that was something we were able to do. We have a family dance coming up. We're looking forward to our students being able to spend time with their parents and their caretakers. Obviously, all of our events, science fair, and other things that we do are generally centered around something that the school is doing with the curriculum to enhance that. And our family dance is something completely separate. That's where we get to celebrate the students being able to be again with their parents or their caretakers and just have some time and something completely different than what they're normally doing. And that's coming up this Friday. We have over 160, I think, who have RSVP'd of our students. So it's going to be a very large event. I probably should have told you that before I announced it. But we're excited. And as soon as that's done, we're going to move right into our 6th grade and get ready for promotion and all the other things that are doing. And we'll be there to continue to support our teacher, the administration with improving and enhancing our students' time at Charles Helmers Elementary. And I'm so glad you went with Charles, so we got to go up front and recognize Miss Wood. So thank you all very much. We appreciate your time.
All right, and we added SCVPTA.
President Garibay, members of the governing board, Superintendent Hawkins, and cabinet members, thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. We are here representing the Santa Clarita Valley Council, PTA, which includes 33, soon to be 35, units in the Santa Clarita Valley, 12 of which are in the Saugus Union School District. This past weekend, we more than 20 PTA volunteers within the Saugus School District attended the California State PTA Annual Convention. They were part of 80 members from the 34th District, which encompasses all of the Santa Clarita Valley, as well as the Antelope Valley. These volunteers had the opportunity to choose from 60 workshops on topics ranging from PTA position training to technology in schools, to the importance of the arts in education, to bylaws and parliamentary procedures, to speaking up to bias and hate, to creating supportive communities, and more. In addition to attending several workshops, volunteers also participated in general meetings of the association. There, our PTA members learned about the supported resolution, adopted changes to the California State PTA's bylaws, heard inspirational keynote speeches, cheered on student performances from the PTA Reflections program, and voted for the 2025-2027 Board of Directors, including incoming California State PTA President Heather Eppolito, who is right here from the Santa Clarita Valley.
It was a weekend of making connections, getting inspired, collaborating with leaders from around the state, and learning lots and lots about all things PTA. But most of all, it was a weekend centered around the mission of the California State PTA, which is to positively impact the lives of all children and families. This mission is the center of all the work PTA volunteers have done for over 128 years. It is easy for our local volunteers to get caught up in the fun of providing family activities such as fall festivals, book fairs, and dances. It is fun to celebrate our teachers during Teacher Appreciation Week. It is important to provide enriching activities such as assemblies and field trips, but it is vital that we always remember that all the work we do is for the benefit of all children and families. That mission was highlighted again and again during last week's convention, and we know that our volunteers are ready to do the work to see that this mission is always at the forefront of everything they do within their own school communities.
Our PTAs are fortunate to be supported by the Saugus Union School District, a school district that values this mission and the work that we do as PTA volunteers. We truly appreciate the collaboration of Dr. Hawkins, the site administrators, teachers, and staff as we work to carry out this mission. We want to publicly thank Dr. Hawkins for jumping in with both feet this year and attending last week's convention. You should know that each year there are only a small number of superintendents who attend the convention. We were so honored to have you there as part of our PTA family. Dr. Hawkins was all in. She attended workshops. She attended general meetings. She joined us for a fun district dinner, and she even donned her Western wear and joined everyone at the state dinner. I imagine it was likely a little surprising to be among 1,200 excited PTA members who celebrated the start of convention with a local high school marching band. It was likely a little surprising to see blinking headbands, hear lots of noisemakers, and be surrounded by lots of woo-hoos. But you showed up and you showed your support, and that meant the world to our volunteers. We thank you for taking the time to learn more about the mission of the California State PTA. We thank you for being there to gain insight into how this mission informs everything we do. We thank you for your willingness to connect and collaborate with all of our PTAs. We thank you for being there to share in our favorite event of the year, and we hope that you felt welcomed by our PTA family. We hope that you found valuable information to bring back to the district, and we hope that you inspire other administrators, teachers, and staff to attend future conventions. Thank you from the bottoms of our hearts for your continued support of PTA and helping us fulfill the mission to positively impact the lives of all children and families.
Powell, do you have pictures?
Of the cowboy hat?
Need one to display prominently.
I think there's a picture of me in that hat.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to our child development programs, Miss Mary Mann.
Thank you. Good evening, Governing Board and Cabinet. Congratulations to all of our teacher tribute honorees. I'd like to share with you that Katie Dempscher and I attended the annual Boost Conference. It's the best out of school time conference, and it was. We learned quite a bit. We really did. We learned quite a bit. We attended with several of our child development site supervisors, and it allowed us to stay current on the latest developments in expanded learning. And it also highlighted the expanded learning quality standards. It is the most attended, largest recognized comprehensive global convening for all after-school expanded learning programs. The conference provided us with many opportunities to attend workshops that gave us valuable insights into updated state requirements, enrichment activities for our students, and also a key part of it was student agency and building leadership capacity across our programs. The experience reinforced our commitment to continuous improvement and quality implementation of an after-school program. So we wish to thank you for your continued support in investing our professional development and in our after-school expanded program. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to our superintendent cabinet reports.
Thank you. I again want to say congratulations to all the Teacher Tribute Award winners tonight, as well as appreciation to it's Teacher Appreciation Week, Staff Appreciation Week. And this year I've been fortunate enough, I've been on a lot of committees, and it's been really fun because I've had a lot of deep conversations, whether it's a teacher who's taken a strategy from one of the trainings or the learnings and shared that, or the discussions, the rich discussions we had in our SEL curriculum committee, and really talking about the curriculum through the lens of the students first and all of the other things in between. And so I just really appreciate all the work that you do and the opportunity that you to work with you, and you are all very student first centered. A couple of things from our department this month. It's busy month for school sites, for many departments. Student services is the same. Along with Teacher Appreciation Week, Mental Health Awareness Week is May 12th through the 18th. It is also School Nurse Day on May 7th, which I think is Thursday. And tomorrow, okay, that would be tomorrow. And also May is Foster Care Awareness Month, and today actually happens to be Foster Care Day. And so just a lot of things happening and bringing some awareness. You'll see some board policies tonight as well that have been revised for mental health, and just how important it has been in our schools, that social emotional learning, that mental health for students, and you're seeing that across the state. So that's all I have to report. Mr. Clement.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Just a couple of quick things. We know it's been mentioned already this evening that we have testing starting tomorrow. So all of our students are eager to show all that they know and all of the hard work for the year that will be seen by how we do this season. So we're excited for that to kick off tomorrow. Got to see Bridgeport's rock star. Is she in the room still somewhere? She was all dressed up, reminding me of a photo from when I was back running a school and also dressed up like a rock star. So we could have been siblings. I also want to acknowledge we do have our PK classroom, the parent education for quality education. That class is starting with 50 parents coming to that. So there's your 25 per that come to that. That is a class that actually was done with a grant. We didn't have to pay the normal fees that would be associated with that. So that was an opportunity that we collaborated with PK when we saw them at the CABE conference this year. Besides thanking all the wonderful teachers of the year and Amanda, our district teacher of the year, which it's great to be here and hear all the lovely words and get all the smiles and watch them come up and get their awards and their flowers and everything. So we just congratulate them and thank them for all their hard work. But with that, I also want to thank really the entire district. We've been named a model PLC school district by Solution Tree. And that is the organization that works through professional learning communities, which is the mechanism, if you will, that we use to analyze data and really work collaboratively together to analyze student data and student learning to increase our overall effectiveness and really work on our continuous improvement together as a team. So whether it's the business department, the HR department, the student service department, the maintenance department, everybody classified, certificated that has a part in that. It really takes all of us to get there. And we are the third school district in the state of California to be recognized with that honor. So it is really huge. So thank you.
All right, I have a lot on this agenda, so I'll just be quick. I want to say happy Teacher Appreciation Week this week, where thank you for all the hard work that you do. And I know that we are also celebrating Classified Appreciation Week next week. And we will honor our classified employees of the year at our next board meeting. Congratulations to all of our teacher tribute honorees. And then also she left, but I want to say welcome to our new assistant principal, Jessica Bennett, who is working up at Plum Canyon.
Good evening. Just two things for me. Number one is the recognition tonight that there are 23 summer projects going on, which is going to be a lot of work and a lot of pressure to make sure that those all get finished before school starts. Next year, there's a variety. There's 6 new play structures coming in. There's multiple single point of entry projects. There's new tracks and fields. There's painting, indoor, outdoor. There's a new roof for a whole school site. So there's a lot going on. The other key piece of information that we learned last week is that the statutory COLA for next year dropped to 2.3% from 2.43%, which many folks might not think that 0.13% is that much, but it is $130,000 for us. So we got to be mindful that that's the calculated statutory COLA, but the state still could fund us at 2.43. We won't know until the governor's May revise comes out. And then, of course, the budget has to be approved. So that's all from me.
All right. Well, congratulations to all of our tribute honorees. It was great to honor them the other night when we were over at COC and again tonight. I've had the opportunity to spend a lot of teachers recently. We've been doing a lot of conscious discipline training, and it's just amazing to see the kind of participation that we've had in all of the different committees and all of the different trainings this year in particular. I do believe some of that is a result of our PLC philosophy and more people being part of that philosophy and seeing the impact that doing that work has on their students' test scores, their own professional abilities, their own collaborative sanities by sharing things with their colleagues. And so I just want to thank everybody for that. I didn't know you guys were coming tonight. So I do want to thank the PTA. I did get the opportunity to go be part of the PTA this weekend. It was quite the experience, one I really, really enjoyed, and one I will always treasure because I was invited to go. I had no idea. I thought I was just going to the superintendent event and I would be home Friday night. And then there was no, you can't leave because of this, and no, you can't leave because of that. And so then next thing I knew, I was there till Sunday afternoon. So it was fantastic, but it was also great to see our students' pieces and get to see all of our Valley and the leadership that they have from council PTA all the way on up. Heather Eppolito, who's our new state PTA president, has done so much in the Valley with our schools and our upline, if you will, folks within the organization. They always come when we call and we need help. They always come to do training. And so we always support sending members of our each organizations. We use some of our LCAP dollars to send at least one representative to the PTA convention because they do so much. It's so much more than just light up party hats and cowboy dances. It is where our PTAs go to get ideas, but also to get training in how to lead and the parliamentary procedures and the tax filing procedures and how to be PTA president and how to be the treasurer and how to be the secretary. And so it's a really important event. If you want to have strong leadership, you need to grow that leadership. And so we support that every year. And so this year they asked me to go with them. So it was really fun. I would highly recommend it. I was thinking of things we could present at the next one. So I'm sure it'll be something where I'm putting on that cowboy hat more than once. So thank you. But it's just a lot going on right now.
Mr. Watson.
Good evening and happy Teacher Appreciation Week to all of you teachers. We really appreciate everything that you do, and we see everything that you're doing in our classrooms each and every day. So thank you. I apologize for not being able to attend the tribute at COC. Unfortunately, I was away for family business. My niece was actually graduating from college with her teaching credential with a concentration in autism spectrum disorder, and so had to go and celebrate that with her. So I did miss being with all of you, though. I was able to return the very next day, however, to attend the PTA luncheon here in this room, and really enjoyed spending that time with those folks that were able to be here. Thank you to all of our parent-teacher organizations and all the amazing work that you do and support that you bring to our schools. We truly could not do what we do without you. Your support is invaluable. And then testing coming up this week. I have to say my piece. I know that schools need to be accountable for student learning, and that is important, but I think that there are ways to achieve that in a way that includes taking away much less of our precious classroom instruction time, much less effort and stress on the part of our staff, and requiring far fewer valuable tax dollars, placing much less stress and anxiety on our students, all without using the same exact tool to measure each unique child in just a few academic areas, while never measuring the valuable skills of collaboration, public debate, true problem solving, organization, self-management, and many others. That being said, this is the current standard that we're being held to. So to you staff, thank you all for all that you do, for putting in your preparations and guiding your students. And I hope that all of our students do their best and continue to make us proud. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Trunke.
A good evening, everybody. Congratulations again to all of our teacher tribute honorees. Along with Ms. Cooper, I attended the teacher tribute event at COC. which Teacher Tribute, for those that don't know, is started and sponsored by the SEV Education Foundation. They, in addition to doing the Teacher Tribute event, they do Bag of Books program that brings a lot of books to our youngsters. There's also Touch a Truck. They do the Principal for a Day event. So if you ever see events sponsored by SEV Education Foundation, especially the fundraisers, please support them for all of the great work that they do, not only to honor our teachers, but also to give classroom grants to them. I also want to say a special congratulations, a special shout out to Mrs. McDonald, one of our Teacher Tribute honorees, who was one of my daughter's teachers. And it was great to hear, Mrs. Garcia, about your recognition from the Bay Area Collective for your amazing service. Another past Teacher Tribute honoree. So thank you so much. On April 2nd, I attended the Asset Management Committee meeting. I know they've got another meeting tomorrow night. I don't know if it's going to be the last one, but looking forward to them soon completing their work. On April 25th, or excuse me, April 21st, I attended the SELPA meeting for all of our special education families. If you need additional resources, go to the SELPA website. There are tons and tons of resources that they have for your special education students. On the 25th, I attended Coffee with the Principal at Plum Canyon. Mrs. Hamilton, I think, was here. Oh, she's over there. There you are. Thank you so much. It was a great visit to your campus, and it was great to hear all of the great things that your parents had to say about the school. I went there also to see our new assistant principal there, Mrs. Bennett, but she didn't happen to be there today, so I missed it by a couple of days, by a weekend. On April 27th through the 30th, along with Ms. Cooper, I attended the California School Boards Association Coast to Coast event in Washington, D.C., where we spent quite a bit of time in some training and lobbying our representatives in Congress. There's a lot of interesting things going on with the federal budget. You heard a little bit about what's going on with the state budget from Mr. Heinlein. Unfortunately, the outlook is cloudy all around, I think, but we'll see what happens in the weeks and months to come. On the 25th, I also attended here the PTA luncheon, and it's great to see our PTA leaders here, and it was great to meet the outgoing leadership and the incoming leadership at each of the school sites, whether it was a PTA, a PTO. Thank you for including the non-PTA sites as well in your event. Thank you for all the amazing things that you guys do. And of course, Teacher Appreciation Week. Thank you to all of our teachers and all of our staff who deserve our appreciation all the time. And I wish our best to our teachers and our students for their CASP testing, which is starting. And that's it for me.
Ms. Cooper?
I also had the opportunity to attend the teacher tribute at College of the Canyons, so I got to congratulate all the teachers twice now. I was sorry to see Mrs. Joseph left, and I hope that it's okay that I share this, but I got the chance to talk to her at COC, and you all know she's retiring, but she's planning to come back the first day of school to help her kids transition to their new teacher, and I just thought that was so kind and just shows how, you know, the teachers take ownership of these kids as if they were their own. And, you know, what an honor to be in the room with so many great teachers. You know, as a child, you kind of put your teachers up on the pedestal. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, you're still on the pedestal. So And I also attended the Coast to Coast advocacy trip with, along with Mr. Trunky. I'm sure most of you know what the IDEA is. When it was passed in 1975, we were promised that the federal government would fund 40% of those mandates. And in California, it averages 8 to 10%. And now there's a threat of that being cut, as well as Title I through 5 funds. Title I includes lower income students, and that helps, that money can help to close the achievement gap. Title II contributes to professional learning. We want our teachers to be lifetime learners, and you can't, you can't teach the newest thing if you don't know the newest thing. So, and then Title III assists with English learners. And then there's Title IV and V. So, if you have the chance to reach out, do. There's a couple of members of each house that are in the middle, and it's a fine margin. So if you're interested in, assisting us with advocacy, just shoot me an email and I'll give you that information. I also had the pleasure of attending the PTA luncheon. I'm so grateful to all of the PTA, PTO, PFO, and just for the record, PFO almost never gets mentioned. That's the Highlands group, because that's, I always mention it because that's where my daughter went to school and that's where I participated. Anyways, I'm grateful for all the energy and the sacrifice of all the parents. The amount that the extras that you give to the school is just so valuable, and it just makes a much better experience for the kids. And I noticed that Rosedale is having a fundraiser at the open book, so I will be spending my grocery money there. And congratulations to the district on being named Model PLC. I'm so proud of our district. We truly do have the best district, and you guys just prove it over and over and over again. So
Thank you. All right, and I'll close it all off by just, again, congratulating all of our teacher tribute honorees. And it's so special to hear the principals actually say all these kind things about the teachers that they work with every day. And just, what's really amazing is just that this is not just something that, one person selects, or it's not a popularity contest. It's really a culmination of all the people that these teachers work with, and just the experiences they've had with them, the amount of effort, and how they go above and beyond every single day to do good things for students and to support each other, their colleagues. So it's just, it's so neat to hear all the kind words and to be able to recognize these special folks. And of course, it's perfect timing with Teacher Appreciation Week, because just like we recognize those individual teachers, it's also nice to just recognize all of our teachers and all the great work that they do. I know at our school, we're doing a lot of things this week, and we do them kind of year round, but we have this week to really highlight all the ways they make us feel, and how much they support our kids, which is just so critical. Our kids wouldn't be able to do the things they do without our teachers. So thank you to everyone for that. I also wanted to thank our teachers and families and everyone who helps support our students. That state testing is so important and so critical for us. And it's just, all the work that you guys have done to prepare our students. And I know at my school, one of my teachers, she asked us to send our students a letter to encourage them to do well and to just, support them. I thought that was so cool. So just wishing all our students great luck on that. I also wanted to recognize our PTA and all the work that they do, as a former PTA president, and still, somewhat involved as much as I can. I see the work that they do, and it's all volunteer work, and it's unpaid. You don't always get the credit, but it's so needed at all of our schools. And so thank you all for all the work that you do. And thank you for always being so inclusive and giving people those leadership opportunities, because those are the opportunities that bring us to, these positions. So thank you for that. I also wanted to recognize our, being recognized as a model PLC is such a big deal. And I know that over the last couple of months, we've had some pretty big recognitions. And, unfortunately, sometimes there's other things going on that we kind of forget the things, but that's a really big deal. So thank you to everyone who's helped to contribute to that, teachers, staff, everybody that's been a part of it. It's a really big deal. And you said it's only one of 3 schools, or 3 districts. That's pretty amazing. So thank you guys for that. And that's it for me. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to our consent calendar. Starting off with removal of items from the consent calendar. I know Mr. Heinlein mentioned we needed to remove number 26 under consent calendar business.
Correct.
Okay. So with that item removed,
I'd like to also remove item 3D4, please.
item 3D4. Okay. So we will take item 3D4 first, right?
I will move to approve.
Move to approve. Second.
I'll second.
Okay.
And I just had a quick question for Mr. Clement. This is an amendment to increase the contract amount with Parker Anderson Enrichment for the summer STEAM camp. The increase, is that a result of the fact that we're able to have more kids come, or are we increasing the offerings that we have to the number of kids that we had originally anticipated?
Increased enrollment, we've added classes.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It's a good problem.
Great. And number,
Well, I think we need to vote on this item now.
oh, I'm sorry. Do we have motions? We had a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Motion passes. Moving on to 3G26. Mr. Heinlein?
We would just like to remove the item from the agenda.
Okay.
No approval.
No approval needed. Okay. Moving on. So approval of the consent calendar. Get a motion in a second.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to our presentations, and I'm actually going to move these around a little bit. So we're actually going to start with the update from the Behavioral Council, and then we'll move into the LCAP process update.
All right, so I'd like to invite up Samantha Macaluso, Marissa Happip, and Christine Lowry. And these are all members of the Behavior Council. Samantha is a school social worker at North Park. Marissa is a BCBA at Mountain View. And Christine Lowry is a TK teacher at Highlands. And they're going to share with you an update on what the Behavior Council's been experiencing since we did our last update. We've only had one meeting. And as I mentioned to you, we've canceled the next one at the teacher's request because of conflicts with variety of end of the year activities.
Okay. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you, board, cabinet, all of you guys that are still here, everyone online still. So echoing off of what Dr. Hawkins just said, we met on April 15th. We came together for a full day of professional development and were introduced to conscious discipline by a certified instructor. Tonight, we'll provide a brief overview of the framework and share the council's feedback. So what is conscious discipline? This is what our first slide is about. Conscious discipline was developed by Dr. Becky Bailey, an educator and an expert in childhood development and developmental psychology. She's also a teacher and she has decades of experience. It is a research-based approach that combines social emotional learning with effective discipline practices to support children's behavior and emotional growth. It helps the adults shift how we view and respond to conflict. So instead of reacting, we learn to respond in ways that teach, connect, and guide. We've all had moments, whether as educators, parents, or staff, when we're stressed and faced with a child in distress. Conscious discipline helps adults recognize how our responses can either escalate or de-escalate a situation, and it helps us shift from reacting to responding in ways that calm, connect, and guide. Every interaction becomes an opportunity for proactive interventions and relationship building. The ultimate goal is to create a school culture where students and adults feel safe, connected, and ready to learn. It supports this by improving school-wide practices such as discipline, routines, and adult-student relationships. Next slide, if we can. The Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning, also known as CASEL, recognizes conscious discipline as a top-tier select program. It means it demonstrates evidence of effectiveness at improving student outcomes at the highest level, supports students' social emotional growth, and offers multi-year programming in addition to organizational strategies and teaching practices. As this program snapshot shows, Outcomes have been observed in schools serving diverse populations across many settings. And research shows that students receiving the Conscious Discipline program demonstrate significantly greater growth in teacher-reported social skill behaviors, observed reported classroom behaviors, school readiness, and both teacher and parent-reported social emotional skills. Moreover, teachers implementing and receiving training in the program showed improvement in their teaching practices, including increased personal SEL skill development and use of positive classroom structures, rituals, and routines, observation reported use of positive discipline strategies, and both observer and self-reported positive emotional climate. Now that we've discussed briefly the framework, this is how people will take over and walk through the key principles and impact.
Next slide, please. So one of the things that really stood out to me about conscious discipline is that it's evidence-based. So as a behavior analyst, I want to know, is this program evidence-based? Is it data-driven? And the program also teaches that behavior is communication, similar to applied behavior analysis, but the framework is a little bit different. So it talks about the 3 stages of the brain. So the neurological science looks at 1, the survival state of the brain. So if you take your palm and you put it on the back of your neck, this is the part of the brain that uses, that engages when we're in a fight or flight state. So when we're in this brain state, we might see behaviors or engage in behaviors like running, hiding, hitting. This is the part of the brain that was activated when we were being chased by animals during the caveman days. So it gives teachers and educators the perspective that students are only able to access that part of the brain and those skills when they're in that brain state. So as educators, our job is to support students in accessing the next part of the brain. So that part of the brain, if you look at the graphic, it's the blue part of the brain. So we're still only able to access that lower part of the brain. This is the emotional state. In the emotional state, we might see behaviors like students engaging in power struggles, students name calling. And when students are engaging in those behaviors, they are communicating something. In the survival state, they're communicating, am I safe? In order to move to the emotional state, that student needs to feel a sense of safety. When they're in the emotional state, they are communicating, am I loved? And in order to move to the next state, they need to feel that sense of safety and connection. Today, an example of a student that I was working with just today that was in that survival state. She left her classroom without permission, ran out of the room, hid in the bush. At this point, I was outside of the classroom with her for about an hour. Mrs. King walked by with a substitute teacher that was going to be teaching her class for the rest of the day. So this is now a negative environment for the student. The environment is aversive. And Mrs. King walks by and tells the student, hey, this substitute teacher who the student has a prior history with, a positive history with, is going to be teaching your class for the rest of the day. Do you want to come to class with us? And she smiled and said, really? And she was excited to go back to the classroom. And I had just been working, trying to get her back to the classroom for the last hour. But since she has that history of having a sense of safety and connection with that teacher, then she willingly and excitedly returned to the classroom and spent the rest of the day in the classroom. So because she had that sense of safety and connection with adults, she was able to use the front part of her brain, which is the executive state. This is where we want students to be during the school day so they can be in a place where they're asking the question, what can I learn? And the last thing that really stood out to me about conscious discipline is that, and this is different, I think it has something more to offer than what we've seen with PBIS or applied behavior analysis, because it also focuses on the adult behavior and the adult responses and teaches that these brain states do not only apply to students, but they apply to us as adults. So when we are responding to behavior, Are we in that executive state? Are we in a state where we can use our problem solving skills, where we can use empathy? Or when a student engages in a problem behavior, the student calls you a bad name or you have a negative interaction with them, we might downshift into the emotional state and or the survival state and then not be able to use the self-regulation skills to support our students. So as adults, we need to be regulated and so that students can co-regulate with us. So I think that's really one of the important pieces that this program has to offer is that it's going to teach teachers the tools to build that sense of safety and connection with their students so that they can access the executive part of their brain and access their curriculum.
And our last slide just shows at the end of, oh, good, I can read this one. I don't know if I can see that one. At the end of our workshop, and I've actually had the opportunity now to attend 2 workshops. We attended together, and then yesterday was a TK specific workshop, and then kindergarten teachers were able to go today. So I love how we've started the process and having our real trainer, our official trainer, train all different groups of teachers. So we had a survey and a vote at the end of our first training, and it just basically asked Behavior Council members if we were interested in receiving more training. So as you can see, I generally don't get to see results like this, but I actually think it's very promising and pretty amazing that 100% of those of us in the room said we were interested in more training. I don't think that's very common. We've all been to many workshops, many trainings. Even myself, I've been teaching 28 years. So honestly, I'm pretty set in my ways of how I do things. I've been to many workshops, cycled through many different trainings, but this training has actually caught my eye and made me stop and think about how I could use it effectively. So after teaching many years and going to many things, to have 100% of adults in the room say they would like to find out more, I think that's a great sign. So these are just some of the quotes as well from some of us who were in that first presentation. The presenter did a phenomenal job. Sorry, good thing I'm loud in this. The presenter did a phenomenal job weaving together relatable classroom scenarios with brain science, helping me better understand the why behind behavior in our responses. I knew about Dan Siegel and his brain science, but this was a different level of and a next quote, the integration of neuroscience made the presentation feel both research-backed and practical. Strategies were not only preventative, but empowering for all of our job titles. The real-life examples and tables felt accessible and realistic, even for those navigating tough classroom dynamics. It felt validating, reminding me of the importance of connection before correction. I really enjoyed it. It was positive and helpful. I'm interested in the follow-up training regarding managing anger, rage, aggression, which we know Dr. Hawkins has received that training. So a lot of us are interested in finding out more about that as well. Thank you for this training. I believe all Saugus educators need this training. And actually one of my notes is the same as up there, connection before correction. We were saying a lot of these things in the training were like, oh my goodness, that's so simple. Why did we think of that? Such simple ideas. So we have to form those connections with students and have that class family, have students feeling safe at home, just with our youngest learners, so they'll be comfortable at school. They will want to learn. And actually a parent earlier had said, you know, if we could start with those youngest learners, I think this is what we're trying to do, form that connection. So hopefully nothing solves everything, but hopefully we won't be dealing with the most severe behaviors if we can find something like this to begin with when they're, well, it'll be 3 next year with TK, 3 and 4 and 5-year-olds, building that connection I'm truly hoping we won't see as many of those severe behaviors. So one of the other things I wrote down, and also because I feel like we're hearing things we've heard before. So if I write something down, like to me, it's very valuable. Classmates supporting each other with behavior issues. So they talk about wishing well. And at first we were kind of like, what is this wishing well stuff? It's actually really beautiful. So what it is, if students are having behavior problems sometimes, you find other students kind of giving the bit of the stink eye or the look and thinking like, oh, that child's always in trouble. Well, rather than that, this is forming that class family where when someone's having a difficult time, the whole class, teacher, classmates, we breathe with them. We take the 3 deep breaths and we wish them well. And we say, this friend today is having a difficult time. So rather than judging, we're breathing with them and we're letting them know we're with them, we're on their side, we hope they feel better. So it's just like deep breathing and saying, we wish you well. So it seems like a simple thing, but like I said, I use the term beautiful. It was it was a beautiful thing and seems so easy, something we could do to make everyone feel connected. So that was just one of the things, probably the most important thing in the connection before correction. So it's a great training.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions, comments?
Yes, I do. First of all, probably the most boring pie chart I've ever seen, but I appreciate it. I am excited, of course, to hear that that we're exploring research-backed brain-based strategies. So thank you for being willing to explore that, and I'm glad to hear that it went so well. I love that this focuses on what you said, the connection before the correction. Extremely important. Exploring the why behind behaviors is so important. A wise man said, actually not so long ago, that it's so important to get curious rather than critical. That was Ted Lasso, Prince. But I'm glad to hear that. I mean, that is truly amazing. You mentioned someone of your experience having such a deep and meaningful connection with the new material. I'm glad to hear that it was such a game changer. Are you able to share? You mentioned being set in your ways, things like that. That was really powerful. Are you able to share an example of maybe a technique that you learned or something specific that's changing your practice in the classroom?
Again, just simple things.
If you could step closer to the microphone so the folks at home could hear you as well.
A couple of simple things, and not like I necessarily do the opposite, but it was a great idea thinking, oh, that's easy and easy for teachers to do. We want things that are easy for us to do. So a lot of us do greet students at the door. But a video we watched, the teacher was actually sitting in a chair. So she was eye level with students. And that's how they did the high five, fist bump, or hug, and just kind of, instead of us hovering over them, sitting down, being eye level is much more of a connection than being, standing up above. So that's something that I would like to try right away. And the other was just simply, especially for our youngest learners who are having a difficult start either to a school year or to a day. They showed us each family, I presume the teacher made them out of photos, but each student had a little bookmark with photos of their family members. And if they were having a difficult time, if it was a student with a desk, it might be in their desk. They could take it out. Maybe it's in their book in their desk. But I was thinking with TK, I'd like to tape one at the beginning of next year in each child's cubby. And then they could go and look at family member photos, during the day, take their little soothing breath, maybe while they're looking, say something positive while they're looking about their family members. So that's one of the things we're saying. How simple is that to have pictures that doesn't take a lot of time and energy, taped inside their cubby where they can go and feel that love and then be comfortable enough to go back to what they were doing. So those were the two quick. I thought it's easy, I can do it, it's meaningful, and it forms a connection right away.
Okay. Thank you all for sharing tonight, and I hope you, on our behalf, thank your colleagues on the Behavior Council. I know that this is all in addition to all of the many different duties that you have on campus every day and the different things that you're doing. This is also, you're very aware, been quite a hot button issue in our district. And so it takes particular courage for y'all to step up and say, yeah, I'll be part of the leadership team that determines Saugus's course moving forward. So we're so very grateful, and just want to make sure that you all are getting the access to the resources and the support you need to do this important work. If that's not the case, please do let us know. Okay, thank you all.
Oh, wait.
No, I was just going to say.
Oh, yeah.
Down the line. You
Mr. Watson's done. You can sit down now. Yeah.
No, first, I just want to say thank you for volunteering, not only to serve on the Behavior Council, because it's all volunteer oriented, but thank you for coming here and presenting tonight. I really only have kind of one question, and anybody can jump in. I'm just curious, how much of this is entirely new material versus just a different way to look at things that you've learned in, maybe different professional development things in your original education, and maybe just a different framework in that you're looking at it? Or what do you have to say about that?
So I can answer that from my perspective. So I have a master's. So a lot of the brain development things we do learn, and I don't know how much that goes into education or. I feel like okay, so not so much, but I know that BCBAs tend to get a lot of the same kind of behavioral information that we do. So it is new to some. I think teachers specifically, a lot of it is new and it's different but for the other professionals in the room, it might not be different, but it sometimes helps to hear things in a different way, like the 3-tiered, blue, green, and
Red.
Those are really helpful because those are like tangible things that we can show kids, which is a new way of thinking it for us. So that's kind of the difference, but not necessarily new, but newish.
And it sounded like there were some like real world,
Yes.
either exercises or videos.
I would say that was mixed in. Like every hour, there was at least like 2 things that were kind of, helping us understand and actual physical doing things. And it was really helpful.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you for volunteering for a very difficult problem to tackle. I appreciate the fact that you were talking about, the adults can also learn how to apply this to themselves. And, we can recognize that teachers are also human and adults also have emotions, and sometimes we forget that, and, they're supposed to be in control all the time, but sometimes it's a little overwhelming. So I appreciate the recognition. And I'm going to ask another unanswerable question. Can you put up slide 4? Go back one.
Back one.
Okay, so I see the green and the brown and the red. What happens in the white part of the brain?
Push away. So it's activated.
That you used.
That's the part that says, I'm hungry, when is lunch?
They're functioning on the or automatic behaviors. I think one of the challenges with what we're learning is we know all of the different pieces of brain states or brain functions and those sorts of things. We learn it at different levels in their different work that they do. But learning it and then owning one that drives you, right? Like if you go to survival mode, if we heard a big bang on top of the roof of this building right now, we would all go to survival mode. We wouldn't have to think about it. We wouldn't question it. We would just physiologically shift there. And so I think that is really probably one of the biggest differences, is really starting to understand that and how everybody in the room does that shift. You as the teacher do that shift. And really the ability that we have, especially with our youngest students, to help them co-regulate. It just reminds us of the social nature of teaching and learning and how kids need to have that adult to co-regulate. And so I think an important piece of this, if you think of the importance of having an adult to co-regulate, if you think of an infant and how you make faces at them and they start to make faces at you, and then they learn how to talk by approximating your speaking. It's the same kind of thing when we're teaching kids how to regulate. They learn how to regulate, they learn how to breathe, they learn how to handle those things by engaging in it with others. And so it's so important for us to do that. So just like when we're on the plane and we say, put your oxygen mask on so you can help others, it's the same kind of thing with behavior. We need to all put our oxygen mask on as adults, educators, before we can begin to deal with the behaviors. And I think when you really understand where some of these behaviors are coming from, whether you're an adult or you're a child, it helps you to know how to deal with them. They don't feel as personal. But please do not get the impression when we're talking about kids breathing or different brain states or anything that there aren't consequences, that there aren't expectations. There most certainly are. But we're talking about teaching the skill in a state, and you can't teach that skill in a kid who's in the red or the blue. You can only teach it to the child who's in the green. And so if you're trying to teach a skill when the kid is very emotional or very upset, they're not going to learn the skill. So I think this from that standpoint, for all of us, myself included, Ms. Barrios included, we've all been learning that. And it's really helped us when we've been going into situations with kids who maybe are tantruming. It just helps us stay more calm. It helps us understand how to do it. And just like the amazing piece that Ms. Hapip said about Ms. King coming by and just asking to join, sometimes we get in our own stuff during the course of that hour to the point that we can't get out of it. But then somebody else who's fresh can come into it with that connection and just make that piece happen. It's not because she's magic or she's not doing what she's supposed to. It's all that physiological chemistry that's happening as we're going through it. And I think we would be foolish if we're going to tackle the problem of student behaviors if we didn't embrace the fact that all of the people we want to impact have a brain, and their brain is newer than ours and reacts differently than ours. And so we need to understand that better. So that's what the Behavior Council is really going to start to do as they get more training around these concepts. And then they have more training around capturing kids' hearts concepts. We're going to begin, as the next school year starts, crafting together what our sort of collective response is and what sorts of trainings everybody needs to have from really trained people, not trainer of trainer for people removed, from real trainers who really know.
And this is just a thought that might be like way far down the road. I know there's a teaching session for the parents, and obviously it's most important to get the teachers the training first. But maybe down the road, we can offer this similar training to the parents so that there's consistency between the school and the home.
Absolutely. It was quite the topic of conversation at the PTA cowboy party table. We started talking about some of the things and it just became a big conversation. But there was a workshop too about being an upstander that I also think would be a great parent piece. So I think addressing behavior is so multifaceted. I wish it was as easy as coming up with a set of rules and a set of consequences. It's not. If it were, we have those. So it would be all fixed. It's really about dealing with things, and our kids are different. I hate to say it, but they cannot co-regulate with one of these, and they cannot learn social interaction with one of these. They cannot learn cueing systems for another human with one of those. They have to do it with a real human in person. And so that, I think, is also what we've been learning. And we've given permission for for probably the last 3 or 4 years for teachers to take the time to do a lot of this front loading early on in the school year. And I will have to say, having spent 2 days with the TK and the K teachers, this is the first year I felt like the teachers really embraced that permission during that training this year. When you say like, they were like, oh, okay, I'm really going to do this time. And so I thought, yay, because we can't teach them if they're not in the green. So it doesn't matter how much curriculum you have. If they're not in the green, we can't get there anyway. So we need to do the work to help that be more often. So thank you, you guys.
Thank you again for coming out tonight and for all of your work.
Yes, thank you all for your participation. I agree that, it hasn't always been an easy group to be a part of, or just, a bit of a challenge to figure out this really big topic and come up with a solution. But I appreciate the work that you guys are doing. I think, having these type of activities coupled with, some of the things that are kind of tried and true, can really create something good, right? Because there are things that we've done in the past that work, and then you add things like this that help kind of teach people new skill sets or new ways of dealing with behavior issues. So I think, couple those together and you have something really good. I guess my question is, what's next? I know we have a meeting coming up. What are some of the topics that we're discussing? What are, what are some additional conversations or things that people want to get out of the behavioral council that you see coming in the near future?
So first, let me explain. We had a meeting planned for May the 9th. We have lots of different trainings going on this month. Plus you heard us say that we're starting CAS testing, we're finishing LPAC testing. So the teachers on the committee asked if we could cancel this meeting. So the next meeting that we have is for June the 5th. Our teachers they go on vacation in the summer, which they should do. So we don't have other trainings until after our training in August, when we do our Capturing Kids' Hearts. So on June the 5th, we will do another phase of conscious discipline. They just got a really brief overview that first day. And what the work Christine got was primarily focused on the first 6 weeks of school. So right now we're in a place where we're training the committee or the council on these different elements of behavior to see what is it that we think should be our core values, I guess, around behavior to help address these things. And then what kinds of training and at what level do we set up for everybody else, is sort of where we're at right this minute. And those are some of the things that were on our list, which was where to go next. But that's where we would go next. And we were going to start talking about that a little bit on the 9th. But I think it's more important to have everybody in a happy place to have that discussion. So there's some things we have to wait on over the summer to get everybody trained. I don't know what else I want to.
Got it, great.
Any questions, thoughts, comments? No?
Thank
All right.
you guys.
Thank you, ladies. Appreciate it. All right, moving on to our LCAP process update.
Okay, so as we get that pulled up and Dr. Fractor is going to come up and join me. This is an update for our LCAP process. We're getting ready to create our 25-26 LCAP for next year. It is going to be year 2 of our 3-year LCAP document. So we're just finishing up year 1 right now. And as we take a look at the next slide, this just is an update on where we are within our time frame. So you can see our yellow line is moving down, down, down as we've finished our input meetings. We've talked to all the different community groups and partner groups. We added a group with an opportunity when we had the pacing guide committee down. It was a large group of teachers that we had held captive in the next room. So we decided to go over there and give them a presentation about it, but we got a lot of great feedback from it and a lot of good feedback about doing it that way. So it was a successful venture that we experimented with and will consider in the future. A little bit better than our evening 5 o'clock in person for the second year in a row showed not very many people. So we'll have to reschedule that maybe and think about that one differently. But we'll continue to offer some time. Go ahead, Nick. So these next couple of slides are slides that you see each time when we do present. So I'll go through them quickly. But essentially, this is our unduplicated count percentage. You can see as it goes across the years, our percentage has moved up, which has increased our LCAP funding. I think originally 5 years ago when I was looking at this, it was about around $4 million or just over. So we're up at about $7.5 million almost. So that's quite an increase with the unduplicated count total increase. Keeping in mind that these services are principally directed towards these unduplicated count students that fall into one of these groups, although all students may benefit. An example that I use is our summer STEAM camp. We do have a priority enrollment and registration for unduplicated count students. They're invited first, we get them in, then the remaining spots go throughout the district. And our schools right now are working at filling in all of those extra spots right now. So if you have a student and you would like to come to STEAM camp, you could contact your administrator and see if you could get in. All right, go ahead, Nick. All right, so this slide basically just recaps what I was just saying about the unduplicated count, the goals and actions, all going towards those students. So I'm going to let Karen go ahead and move to the next one to talk about the different priorities.
So as a reminder, our LCAP is aligned to California's 8 state priorities and just ensuring that we meet all of them, having to do with conditions of learning, student outcomes, and engagement for both students and families. Next slide, please. And there we have our 5 LCAP goals that drive all the work that we do, and all of the actions we have within our district are aligned to those 5 goals. And so we'll really, make sure as we move forward that we're going to be addressing each of those areas when we look at our data and then plan for next year. Next slide, please. Thank you. So what we have here is our educational partner input, and I'm going to have Mr. Clement talk about goal 1 and what the input looked like on impactful actions that people have shared.
All right, so with goal 1, this talks about us closing the achievement gap in our academic goals. Some of the highlights for the impactful actions that were recognized by people on the committee, the teachers on special assignment and support and resources that they provide, along with the professional development that's been provided throughout the district. Our focus on professional learning communities was a big item that came up repeatedly. And then not only the writing strategies and teaching the writing strategies and us working on that as a district, but also the parents brought up incorporating that into some of the work we're doing with them to relay that information so they could know how we're doing that, what we're doing. Maybe they could support with that at home.
So when we met with each of our educational partners, not only did we get feedback on the impactful actions, but also other actions that we should consider. And there's a long list there, but as you can see, a lot of the actions there we're already implementing. And so it was nice for families, I think, to maybe they didn't experience that or they didn't know about it. And so we got to share, but we also got some great new ideas. So some of the things we already have in place were a lot of our families wanted after-school programs or enrichment for our English learner students, which we do offer and are constantly expanding. So that was nice to hear. And then a new area, or an area that we're going to continue to dive into and go deeper, is just increasing our support for upper grade teachers in language arts, so providing more support in that area for them. And then on the next slide, we're going to look at the input for goal 2.
All right, so goal 2 has to do with our English learners and their academic achievement and their acquisition of English. A couple of the things that were mentioned that were impactful actions, the professional development that we offer specifically for our teachers that have the English learners in their classroom, specifically to designated ELD. The goal setting and monitoring that we're doing with the English learner families and students, so they have knowledge about where they're at, what level they are, what it takes to get to that next level, and really how to go about it. And then we had some different things with Academic Saturday School, specifically for our English learners. We saw our partners at Plum Canyon through I'll say an inspired ELD walkthrough visit day when we were asking questions about a 6th grade student and why he was still an English learner. Inspired them to not only go after specific reclassification for that student, which they did, but also to create a boot camp for their English learners that we decided to do on a Saturday while they were hosting the Academic Saturday School. So it was a parallel day. They did it at the same time, the same hours. They were able to reclaim that attendance. And it was an overall focus where they invited all of the English learners to come at the same time in a separate classroom. And they saw a lot of success. So that's something that inspired us really to repeat with GATE that we'll talk about in a later date, but that was a cool night too, or a cool day. And we'll look into more of that in the future.
So some of the actions that our community partners, educational partners wanted us to consider, some highlights were definitely more parent engagement opportunities for our English learner students and the families of our English learner students. Many of them shared, similar to what Mr. Clement had said, they did a lot of goal setting meetings with our long-term English learners. That's an action that we have across the schools. But a lot of parents, they were hearing about these experiences that parents of long-term English learners were having with this goal setting. So they were like, we want that too. So more opportunities. And then we have hosted a plethora of workshops for families, and they want more and more. That they really appreciate what we're able to offer, and they want them to keep coming and offer more classes because our families are hungry for new information, and they really want to support their children. And so they want us to keep offering more opportunities for them to learn to help their children. So on the next slide, we're going to review input for Goal 3.
All right, so Goal 3 talks about our social emotional learning and school connectedness and engagement for students. And this one was a clear consensus across the board with high appreciation for the social worker team and what that has done for each school site, having their own social worker. The BCBA team and the folks and the work that they're doing. And then capturing kids' hearts came across as a loud, this is something that we thought was great. We want more of it, which leads right into Karen's.
Yeah, so for the actions to consider, I think all of our educational partners who had experienced capturing kids' hearts, they really wanted that across all 14 sites, which is great because we are going to be planning that training August 7th and 8th. And then also both families and teachers had commented of just having that strong social emotional curriculum to support in this area. And we already have that pilot committee going. And so that is well on its way. So it was nice to see that some of those actions are already being considered. And then Mr. Clement will take the next slide to talk about Goal 4.
All right, so when we talk about our parent and school community involvement in our instructional programs, we heard a appreciation for Parent Square and the communication that's able to come out of the district and the frequency of it. They talked about the family liaison team and the impact that they're having, both building connections to school, getting parents involved in the school, teaching them how to ask the right questions, or building that bridge so there's not that fear or, of a parent not knowing if they're welcome or how to approach the school or how to participate. And then the LTEL, long-term English learner part, where we are working with families and setting those goals for our long-term English learners, as well as our upper grade students at many school sites, towards that reclassification goal that came across loud and clear that they appreciated that.
And then some of the actions to consider were varying the timing of scheduled workshops. So making sure that we're looking at different time and opportunities for families to attend. And also, some of the families had mentioned an ELD focused summer school, which is something that we used to do in previous years in a very, very small. And we do prioritize our English learners, but really looking at how can we meet the needs of English learners within our summer program, which we really have, as we're planning for this summer, Our current ELA curriculum is really going to expand on vocabulary and language development. So they're already going to start to see that embedded within our summer program. So the next slide, Mr. Clement will talk about goal 5.
All right, so this is about the students and staff really seeing themselves as part of our school community within their curriculum and the materials. So one of the things that we found impactful or that we heard about often was the TOSA support and all the different multicultural milestones or events that we have throughout each school year and the resources that are provided or really organized so that the teachers can go in and have those lessons available. They talked about being able to see themselves in the curriculum and in the schools. And I think those were the 2 big ones. So go ahead. Karen.
Yeah, and then, I mean, across the board, all of our educational partners for this school specifically shared they want more opportunities for the students and families to share about their own cultures. And we know that a lot of our schools are already, a lot of our parent leader organizations are leading that at the different school sites. But right now, they all doing it in unique, different ways. And so looking ahead, really providing opportunities for different members of our parent leader organizations that are across the school sites who are each doing these multicultural fairs or multicultural nights, kind of bringing them together to learn from one another to really expand and deepen that opportunity. So that's the next step to really provide more opportunities for our students and families to see themselves and represented and just get to share about who they are and their culture. So that takes us to the LCAP Connectedness Survey Snapshot on the next slide.
Okay, so this survey just closed for the season last week, Wednesday, really 5 o'clock or the end of the day. So we've really just recently gotten access to this and been able to start processing and looking at it. But we have basically the information for the overall groups that we can share. Our participation remains very strong with students. We were already at 94.5 or 97%. So we're 97.4, which is up 0.5%. With the staff, it's, I've gotten a lot of messages already because they think we're 100%. Why are we not at 100%? Well, we really are, but lots of schools have different staff members that are assigned to one site or multiple sites. So it's hard to tell exactly where they were when they decided to take it, so there's a little bit of variance there. But the real thing to focus on is 153 more staff members took it than before, and we were already at a high percentage, so that's a great thing. Then the real thing here to recognize is our family participation, which this is hard. I mean, people don't want to log in and do a survey. So we set a goal to increase, I think, 10%, which would have put us at 60. So I'll let the number speak for itself. When we're over 80%, that goes a big testament to all the teachers out there that really ask their students to go home and bug mom and dad, and how many tickets we gave and how many times we're going to stand on our head sideways and wave when they come in the door if they do it for us, and they did. So I'm sure there's lots of things that Amy King's going to be doing out there at her school site. All right, go ahead to the next slide, Nick. So when we look at the district-wide responses as a whole, we're going to see a lot of increases. This is the student response. Every single area that went up, 12 of the 15 areas went up more than 3% or 3% or more, which is significant. But really the 3 I want to highlight is when you're looking at our 3 lowest areas, like behavior in class was only 36%. That was a 10% gain, right? One of the 3 largest gains that we had. Feeling important at the school site was only at 51%. That one went up 11%. I know that was one of the items that a lot of the schools were focusing on because kids didn't feel like they were important, not because they're not really important, but important people have uniforms and they're policemen and maybe the principal and these really important people, and I'm a student, but I'm not important like that. So I think really explaining what that means and telling them or describing why they're important or how they're important was a big factor in that. And then the respect one was also one of the really low ones, 36%, and that went up as well, 9%. So there's a good lot to celebrate there. When we go to the next one, we're going to look at staff responses, and just want to focus again on the 153 more responses than we had from last year. We did have 2 areas that only went down 1%, but those 2 areas were already at 96 and 95% favorable. So to go down by 1, at least they were those areas that were high. Not a lot of movement though. And then when you look at the next slide and we look at the family responses, fascinating that a lot of these numbers did not change, even though we had all of those additional people go in and log in and take the survey. But we have a strong response rate with our percentages, and most of them stayed almost exactly the same or went up slightly. So it's great to have those responses come in, and great to see that those new responses agreed with the responses that we had. Go ahead, Nick.
And now here's the response part, right? We have all of this data that we've analyzed and gathered throughout the year. We've met with our educational partners. And so we really look at that and move forward for the 25-26 LCAP. So we will be presenting to our PAC and DLAC next Thursday a draft of our goals, actions, and budget for the 25-26 LCAP. And also working with our partners at LACO to make sure that we have everything needed for compliance for LCAP. And then while we're doing this process at the district level, our school sites are also moving through that process for their single school plans. And again, looking at their site-specific data, working with their school leadership teams and their site councils to draft and then approve their 25-26 school plan.
So Nick, when we talk about this, your face looks like this, but you're going to be okay. So I know it's his favorite time to deal with us when we're in the next 2 weeks of writing the LCAP, but it'll be great. So we'll take questions.
Mr. Watson?
I know everything that goes into the LCAP process. And this is an incredibly concise but informative report. So thank you very much for the update. Couple of questions. The educational partner input that was provided came from the DLAC, the PAC, STA, CSEA, and community partners. Are those community partners parents, other partners within the community?
They were open meetings, so we had staff that came and we had parents that came, and administrators, teachers, and parents.
Okay, that's good to hear. Yeah. It is open to the whole community.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Dr. Fractor, did I hear you say that Capturing Kids Heart training is going out to all school sites this August? News, thank you. Yeah. Wonderful. Love the idea of EL Saturday boot camps and ELD focused summer programs. As you both know, one of the top priorities that the board has set with our superintendent is to close the achievement gap while continuing to move all of our students forward. And that's challenging and can often bring some scrutiny. This is an amazing way to accomplish that goal. So looks like a great idea. Thank you. And then, yeah, just kudos on the growth and participation rate in the connectedness survey. That is fantastic. Parents, thank you very much for providing your input. It is so important. And I agree. The fact that we see such remarkably similar results, even with the growth and participation rate, kind of indicates that we're probably getting some pretty accurate data here. So that is great news. The initial responses look fantastic. Thank you.
Mr. Drunky?
Thank you for the presentation. You know, I know there are still, although only a couple, there are still some opportunities for parents to have additional input, although most of the input meetings. Am I correct? There's still the PAC meeting on the 15th and the DLAC meeting on the same day. Those are open to parents and pretty much anybody, right?
Yeah, I mean, there are specific groups that come to those because the school site council representatives from each, school site comes for the PAC, and then the same with the English learner folks that come from each site.
They're open to anybody if they wanted to go. Next thing I wanted to comment on, and I really liked seeing, especially from all of our education partners, the mentions about the strength of the TOSA program and continuing that and supporting those TOSAs. So it was great to see that. I was also encouraged to see, and Mr. Clement, you and I have spoken about this before, how professional learning community, PLCs, has really become part of the fabric of the district. And to see that with all those mentions is really encouraging. Can you talk a little bit more about how we can expand the academics Saturday school for our EL students?
Well, it was Plum Canyon that they usually had an after-school boot camp, right? And when we were at their site doing an ELD visit, we were talking with Ardrella and Dina, principal and assistant principal at the time, really just about what that looked like. And they were about to host Saturday school for their part of the rotation coming up. And that dialogue, we just started talking about how that mechanism or that day is already in place. So if they had teachers that were wanting to come in and do that, admin was going to be on campus that day. We had other things in place that you would, snacks and different things like that we would normally be providing for students that we were there. So we added that track basically, and they invited their EL students. So instead of having just the one class per grade level, we added that EL track.
So the academic Saturday program sort of rotates from site to site. This coming school year, we're going to have that additional EL component to it at every single site?
Well, I won't say every single site. It was something that they wanted to do, but I think it's something that was successful, and we can talk about that more. And I mentioned at North Park, Christina Baku did the same thing with GATE. It was a way to offer a GATE program in the same manner too. We invited, there were actually students from Helmers and North Park there, and it filled up. The kids came and we reclaimed the attendance for them too, because they were present for that 4-hour period. And they had a great time. I have to turn in the receipts for Christina Baku that maybe went a little creatively with her style, but it was well worth it in how everybody responded. So we have to talk about that procedure a little bit.
And then the only other thing I'll say, and I'll echo some of what Mr. Watson said. I'm really encouraged by the connectedness survey results and how we have some significant increases on areas where we definitely had recognized some deficiency. And then in a lot of other areas, we've either slightly increased or maintained very strong numbers. I'm looking just at the staff responses on I feel important at my school, help is available, positive feedback given, school belonging, school safety, all extremely positive numbers, feeling encouraged. So that's fantastic.
Ms. Cooper?
That's it for me.
I just have one question on slide 12. How did Emblem get to 134.9% and
The same question.
and Rio Vista get to 101?
I believe when you have a brand new principal go to a school site, and she will have nothing but the best positive experience or outcome that you can get. And when she goes classroom to classroom, talking to all the students about how she's the brand new person there and how can she not have 100%, and are you going to help me? They did. We do have households with multiple families, or you might have multiple sets of parents. So it's not just one person per, could be 4, it could be 5, could be.
So 100% would be one respondent per student.
Correct.
Okay.
That's what it's almost impossible for us to base the percentage on the number of kids and the number of parents and the number. So we try to base it on the enrollment. So
Some parents might go in and do one for the school. Some might go in and do one for each grade level or each kid specifically. And, that would vary it a little bit. So it's
Thank you.
possible.
That was my question too, so we're good. Thank you. Thank you
Sure.
for the presentation. Okay, moving on to education services. Adopt resolution 2024-25, number 62, a resolution of the governing board of the Saugus Union School District in recognition of Peace Officers Memorial Day. Can I get a motion in a second?
Move to
So-
approve.
Second.
Thank you. And
Okay, so this is for peace officers recognition. The 15th of the month and that week is an important week where we're recognizing all that they do to provide our safety. I know it's something that is near and dear to several of our board members and everyone in the community.
thank you. Any questions or comments?
Just thank you very much to all our peace officers.
Absolutely.
I would just like to
We do.
encourage the community to be extra supportive. I have several clients and friends who are also peace officers in addition to my son. And sometimes they get treated poorly by the community, but there's a trend toward them being treated poorly by their departments. And it's very disheartening.
Thank you. Okay, and for this one, we do need to call a roll, so Ms.
Oh, I get to
Cooper,
be the
you
clerk.
get to be the clerk. Yes.
Mr. Watson.
Aye.
Mr. Trunky.
Aye.
Mrs. Garabay.
Aye.
I vote aye. The motion passes 4-0.
Great, thank you. Okay, moving on to approve the suggested list of field trips and assemblies. Can I get a motion in a second?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Heinlein.
Okay, this is
Not Heinlein.
It's okay. This is
Sorry.
just our annual update. We update this list every year of the pre-approved list of field trips and assemblies. So we've added a lot of parks and places that people might go.
Great, thank you. Any questions or comments? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Can we get a vote? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, motion passes. Moving on to student support services, we have approval of revisions to the Saugus Union School District Student Cumulative File Folder. Can I get a motion in a second?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Berries.
So since we have TK at all of our sites and some sites have multiple TK, our cumulative folder only had spots for Cherub's little photos on the inside for K through 6, and we thought we would memorialize our TK students and have them an official spot. So since it's an official record that we would use in all the district, we need board approval.
Great. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No, motion passes. Thank you. Next up is conduct first reading of board policy and administrative regulations, 5,000 students. Ms. Berries?
Okay, so whenever there is a policy that's updated, there are subsequent policies that are sort of affected by that. I shouldn't say sort of, that are. One of the major changes that have come out this year are the response to immigration enforcement in the 5,000 series. Really, it's language on how to respond when immigration enforcement comes to campus, all the way from how you greet them at the door to the records they're able to access to what we can student directory information and their immigration status. And so you'll see that in that policy, as well as the student's record policy was updated to align with that new guidance. Also in the student's record policy, there is some guidance about cyber attacks. That is something that is newer, that is affecting not just school districts, but other places of business as well. So that language was updated in both of those policies. You will see in also the alcohol and other drugs, there's been a lot of talk about fentanyl use and other synthetic and prescription drug use. And so there is a new annual notification to parents about the dangers of such drugs and alcohol and the long-term effects of use. So you'll see that board policy was updated. Also our suicide prevention policy was updated to really expand all of the opportunities and supports available for students who are struggling with mental health. So that's what you'll see in those policy updates. You want me to go to the 6,000? You want me to wait?
No, let's go ahead and go to the 6,000. It's just,
I just had one quick question. In terms of the immigration stuff, with the change in the policy, is there any change to the information that we sent out a few months ago to all of the school sites?
Can I answer that?
Absolutely.
Dying to answer that one.
I'll look right at you.
No.
Except
so-
there's a monitor in the
This
way.
way. So when I read really the policies come out sort of after they tell us what to do. And when we first heard about all of these things, we're kind of grappling with what do our policies say? What do we follow? Because there is no guidance. And I will say that the meetings that we held, the guidance that Dr. Hawkins sent out to everybody is exactly in step with what they were recommending in the new, I think it's the Surgeon General, that guidance that they put out. Our visitor policies were still appropriate. The information we would or wouldn't give was appropriate, contacting the super, like from the beginning all the way to end. I'm like, hey, we already said all of this and this is what we're doing. So it was right in alignment with that. And I was just not surprised, but I was happy to know it's like validating that we were doing all of the things before it even came out.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. And then if you can just update us on the next conduct first reading of board policy administrative regulation 6,000 instruction.
Yes. So this, the 6,000 series really has to do with students in special education programs, and there was a language update, mostly from students with disabilities changed to students with exceptional needs. So you'll see that updated in both policies. There'll probably be some additional policies as they update those that sort of have that trickle down effect.
Great, thank you. And these are first readings and they will come back for board approval at the next meeting. Okay, moving on to approval of ratification of the memorandum of understanding between the CSEA and the Saugus Union School District concerning the effects of layoffs. Can I get a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Dr. Stevenson?
All right, so this, anytime we have a layoff resolution, we have to negotiate the effects. No person is actually being laid off. We're laying off some positions. When we worked with CSEA, we know we have open positions for TK paraeducators. So the people whose positions are being laid off, they will be going into those TK para positions, and then they'll also be offered the opportunity if they want to interview for special ed para positions, if they would like to do that.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? No? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. Motion passes. Next up, ratification of memorandum of understanding between the CSEA and the Saugus Union School District concerning reduction of hours for classified positions due to lack of work. Dr. Stevenson, I'm sorry, can I get a motion in a second?
Move to ratify.
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Stevenson.
All right, so we have to negotiate reduction of hours. Since we have the new universal dismissal schedule, the day is shorter. And so we do not need our paras to work as long of days, both in special education and also in our TK and K classrooms. However, we did not reach an agreement on reducing the current employees' hours, so they will maintain their hours that they have this year. And then once the students go home, they will be helping with other things after school, such as helping supervise children, like at dismissal time, and possibly also helping with supervising in CDP and things like that.
Great, thank you. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. Motion passes. Next up, adopt and approve resolution 2024-25, number 59, concerning the reduction and or laying off of classified positions for lack of work or lack of funds. Can I get a motion and a second?
Move to approve.
Thank you. Second? Oh, second. Okay. Dr. Stevenson?
All right, so this is the final layoff resolution for 31 positions that were funded with the Learning Recovery Block Grant. These are primarily the writing paraeducator positions. And these are people that are in these positions will be taking the TK positions. So there's not people being laid off, it's just the positions.
Great, thank you. Questions or comments? No? Clerk, would you please take the roll?
Mr. Watson?
Aye.
Mr. Drunky?
Aye.
Mrs. Garabay?
Aye.
I vote aye. The resolution passes.
Thank you. Okay, next up, approve tentative agreement between the Saugus School Teachers Association and the Saugus Union School District for the 24-26 school year. I move to approve. Can I get a second?
Second.
Dr. Stevenson?
All right. This was a lot of work. If anyone read through it and saw how much language we worked on to change and adjust for the their successor collective bargaining agreement. It also includes a 2% on-schedule salary adjustment that's retro to July 1st. And then one of the supporting documents that's attached here, along with the other TA, is the AB 1200 letter from LACO that says that we, as a district, can afford the salary increase.
Great. Thank you. Any questions or comments?
Just, I think it's very apropos that we're approving this during Teacher Appreciation Week. We just want to thank and appreciate our teachers for all of your collaboration throughout this process. Yeah, let's go.
And I would just like to say, as always, when we complete negotiations, thank you so much to the negotiating teams and the leadership teams of both organizations. It's never an easy task, I know, but I know when it is approached with thoughtfulness and respect and transparency that everything gets worked out in the end.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Approve tentative agreement between the Classified School Employees Association, Chapter 112, and the Saugus Union School District for the 24-25 school year. I move to approve. Second.
I will second this one.
Great.
All right,
Proceed.
so this is the TA that we came up with CSEA. It doesn't have quite as much language because this was not a successor agreement that we were negotiating. We only had a couple of language items that we were discussing. And then it also includes the same 2% salary adjustment that was retro to July 1st, 2024. And then we also added a few people to a stipend for working in special education classrooms, and added a little bit to longevity at the very top scale of their longevity.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Oh, just one comment
sorry.
again with this one, because it's a different bargaining unit. Thanks to the CSEA bargaining team and their leadership team. And ditto what I said before.
Samesies.
Samesies. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Not ditto anymore.
Approve salary adjustment for the 24-25 school year for management, confidential, and unrepresented employees. I move to approve. Second.
Second.
All right, as is past practice, once we have settled with both bargaining units, then we have requested the same salary adjustment for all of our employees that are not represented by the by STA or CSEA.
Great. Mr. Trunky?
Yeah, I would say thank you to their negotiating team and leadership team, but they don't have one.
But we appreciate
But
them
we-
nonetheless.
Samesies. No, thank you, everybody, though. Appreciate the good work. We have a motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay, moving on. Approve memorandum of understanding between CSEA and Saugus Union School District regarding catastrophic leave. Motion, or sorry, I move to approve. Second.
To approve.
Oh,
I think Patty moved.
I moved.
Oh,
Kathy
I'm
seconded.
sorry. I thought you were
seconded.
asking for a motion.
Okay, we have a motion and second.
bad.
Dr. Stevenson, no worries.
All right, so this.
Really good at this.
You wanted me to motion, so here I am motioning.
This is a MOU with CSEA regarding their catastrophic leave bank. The way that some employees aren't able to contribute because we do hiring. We don't really hire classified employees right at the beginning of the school year, right? We hire them throughout the year. So this makes the window for them to be able to contribute to catastrophic leave a little bit larger. So they can start contributing in May and be eligible for it in the upcoming year. And it will hopefully also increase their catastrophic leave bank.
Thank you, Dr. Stevenson. Any questions or comments? Okay. I'm sorry, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. Motion passes. Approve revisions to the 25-26 Saugus Union School District calendar. Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Dr. Stevenson?
All right, this is a revision calendar, and it's basically has to do with the universal dismissal, because those Wednesdays, instead of being shortened days, they are minimum days. And then we also do not have the minimum days for upper grade report cards that they had before. So this is just a revision reflecting what we negotiated with universal dismissal.
Thank you. Questions or comments? No? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No opposed, no opposition, so motion passes. Declare that there were no Williams uniform complaints filed during the third quarter of 24-25 in accordance with the law.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Dr. Stevenson?
We just had no Williams uniform complaints this quarter.
That's a win. All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Adopt Resolution 24-25, number 60, a resolution of the Governing Board of the Saugus Union School District declaring the week of May 18th through 2025 as Classified School Employee Week.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Dr. Stevenson?
I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
Pretty self-explanatory, but thank you for our classified school employees for everything that they do. They do a lot for our kids and for our schools, and we appreciate them. And we're glad that we are able to celebrate them. So with that,
Ditto.
would you
Here.
take
Yeah,
the roll?
Icing on the educational cake.
Yes.
Mr. Watson.
Aye.
Mr. Trunky.
Aye.
Mrs. Garabay.
Aye.
I vote aye. The resolution passes.
Thank you. Next resolution, adopt resolution 24-25, number 61, a resolution of the Governing Board of the Saugus Union School District declaring the week of May 5th through 9th, 2025 as Teacher Appreciation Week.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. We love our teachers. Dr. Stevenson?
No.
Self-explanatory. Great. Thank you guys for everything that you do.
Mr. Watson,
Take the roll.
stand up. We'll do the wave.
Oh, I see.
This isn't Dodgers.
We're getting loopy.
Just let them keep going. They're on a roll.
Mr. Trunky.
Aye.
Mr. Watson.
Aye.
Aye.
Mrs. Garabay.
Aye.
I vote aye. The resolution passes.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to first reading of board policy and administrative regulations, 4,000 personnel. Dr. Stevenson?
All right, so this is a board policy and administrative regulation update for employee security. Remember 4158, it has to do with certificated. Anything in the 4200s has to do with classified employees, and anything in the 4300s has to do with management. So they're basically all the exact same thing, but they all have a different number because they have to do with the different classifications. The board policy, really, the main thing is that it's updated because collective bargaining units are now able to get temporary restraining orders for their members if they have a threat or something if it's needed. And then the administrative regulation, the big thing is that we need to include in the comprehensive school safety plans, a way to respond to reports of any dangerous, violent, or unlawful activities, which we do have in there, that assault, reports of assault, attack, or physical threat need to come straight to the superintendent or designee. We need to provide reasonable accommodations to an employee who's a victim or whose family member is a victim of domestic violence, sexual assault, stalking, or other qualified acts. So like if we had to make an accommodation and, for example, move their work location or something to keep them safe. And then also it updates some information on if a person feels the need to carry or possess pepper spray. And that's it.
Great, thank you. This is the first reading and will come back for approval at the next meeting. Moving on to business services, approval of the Sierra School Equipment Company, school furnishings, office furnishings and accessories for James Foster Elementary School. Can I have a motion in a second?
Madam President, move to approve items 8A, B, and C all together since they're all related.
How about E? Oh, never mind. Okay, A, B, and C, perfect. Can I get a second?
I will second that.
Thank you. Mr. Heinlein?
So what just happened?
We're approving A, B, and C because they're all related.
You just got streamlined.
I'm trying to figure out okay, they're all related. to
They're all,
Foster.
they're all school projects. They're definitely
Right.
related.
Well, since Foster, the new building will be finished, it's now time to purchase all the furniture for Foster.
Mhm.
Furniture is the furniture that was selected by the district committee. The other two items are small change orders for the testing company that is doing also the special inspections and material testing for the work at Foster.
Great, thank you. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Conduct first reading of board policies and administrative regulations, 3,000, business and non-instructional operations. Motion, oh, no, sorry, no motion and second. Mr. Heinlein?
These are a selection of policies in the 3000s. There's not too much significant here. The first board policy really is more about moving language from the AR to the board policy. The 3311.1 really factors in a new public contract code. 3311.1, the regulation, also factors in the new law and then an increase in limits. 3312 also is updated per a new law and also requires a new legal form. And then 3516.5 about emergency schedules really brings in our instructional continuity plan that we will have to have as of July 1st of 2026.
Great, thank you. That is a first reading and will come back for board approval at the next meeting. Approved to declare certain property, district-owned property as surplus.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Heinlein?
It's just old computer supplies.
Great. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. Conduct first reading of board policies and administrative regulation, 1,000 community relations, Mr. Heinlein? Or,
Actually,
I'm sorry.
no, it's okay.
Dr. Hawkins.
Yeah, it's my turn. So again, as we've done all night now, we're updating our policies. The main ones in the 1000 series that are being updated is policy and administrative regulation on visitors and outsiders visiting our campuses. It's just really cleaning up language, mainly making it clear that the principal and or designee has the right to ask someone to leave who is being disruptive in some way. So there's that one. And then there's just reflective language about for BP 1260, that's around educational foundations. Even though we don't have an educational foundation, we keep this policy in effect and updated. And so this is about not releasing student information for that particular function.
Great. Thank you. That'll come back for board approval. And conduct first reading of board policy administrative regulations, exhibit 9,000 bylaws.
Yes, so this is a bylaws. There's, again, these are being updated because of CSBA recommendations through new court decisions, new laws, so public statements. There's some, clarification made around that. For board members, electronic communications for board members. So there's been new court decisions around that and how when you're communicating online with social media and things along those lines, filling vacancies, there's new law around that, for provisional appointments and how that works. And then conflict of interest, we've had all new training. There's been new laws around that. And so we've had staff or the team, including staff, taking part in those. So they're basically language changes to meet new laws.
Great. Thank you. That's the first reading and we'll come back for board approval to next meeting.
Just one quick question. Does that represent all of the gamut policies changes that were pushed out in the first quarter?
In the first quarter, so
They usually do them in big chunks.
yeah, they do them 5 times a year. And so I think we're almost fully caught up for the year. I know there was, because I was at the PTA thing, there's a few on like social media or website things that aren't on there, but I think we're pretty much caught up for whatever's been posted for the year. And I don't think we get a new one until July, right? July, September, December, March. It's 5 times. June
Have a
again.
few.
Yeah, Nick has a few. We have a whole database if you'd like to peruse it, but
Peruse away.
Yeah, no.
yeah, okay. We've since we discovered the snafu years ago now, we are fairly religious in how we go about updating these policies. So our policies are fairly up to date.
Great job, team.
Thank you, team. It's a tedious task.
Move to adjourn. Second.
Look at it. Wow. Here you wanted to move to
waiting
adjourn. Like
to
you didn't
move
even
to adjourn.
ask.
And do it right.
Get control of this meeting.
Yeah. You just
Move to adjourn. I even wrote it down, so I wouldn't. Just kidding. Thank you. So we moved.
Did we get a second?
Second?
Matt seconded.
Okay. Great. It was.
It was Catherine and Matt.
It was Catherine and Matt. Thank you. We'll see everybody on May 20th. Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? No.
Poor Patty.
I was ready. I was ready. Then she yanked it right out of my.
We would not be handled tonight.